The Acolyte, episode 3.
Yes.
Pride month, baby.
Yeah. Now,
that took you a second, didn't it?
call out the people that seemingly are getting their feelings hurt because they've not realized that the Jedi actually aren't the good people that they thought they were, and they're suddenly getting butthurt that they're being portrayed as the bad guy. And then, yeah, the human centipede of clones was... that was not quite what I was expecting.
I don't understand why he did so many clones. Because he's just doing it for his own benefit.
The Xbox Showcase, I'm putting this out there, was the best showcase we've had since PlayStation Showcase of 2020 when the PS5 got out.
Ooh. Stacked showcase.
It's a 9 out of 10.
So for me, it's a 10 out of 10. We've got loads of games sort of to cater to every audience. We got new games, we got dates, we got franchises coming back, we got new story trailers. I don't know how you could improve on that.
Hello, and welcome to episode 118 of Cutscene Convos. We've got another monster episode for you this week, and I do mean monster.
Yeah.
We have got a character profile on Kitty Pryde. We have got episode 3 of The Acolyte. We've got season 4, episodes 1 and 2 of The Boys. We have got Josh back in with us for the monthly gaming roundup, which is a super special one because it was Summer Games Fest last weekend.
Yes, it was.
And as always, we have the Nerd News Network. But before all that good stuff, Horizontal, how's your week been?
My week's been pretty chill. What have I done this week? I was with a girlfriend the weekend. Chill weekend with her. And then this week just kind of been getting different jobs done, working on different things, playing games, figuring stuff out in the background, career-wise and whatnot. And yeah, just kind of had a bit more of a chill week. Playing Next to Fine. Obviously got lots of shows coming out, so I was watching them, which we're going to be discussing. We had the Summer Games Fest on, which we'll be discussing later with Josh. So yeah, it was a good week to be a nerd. It was
indeed.
How's your week been?
It's been good. I've been earning my nerd Boy Scout badges.
Oh.
I've finally caved and got Dropout.
Oh yes, you have.
Which is like very quickly becoming my favorite streaming service because it's so reasonably priced and it's so easy to log into.
And all the content's great.
Yeah.
Have you started watching Game Changers yet?
Yes, we've watched I think the first 4 episodes.
So have you seen the Make Some Noise one?
Yeah, Make Some Noise was the second episode.
So this was so loved that they were like, we need to make a whole series of this.
Yeah. So Make Some Noise is actually what first got me interested in Dropout.
Okay.
Because I saw so many of the bits, because like every part of that show is so easy to just clip for TikTok. Yep. So I saw lots of times like, oh, this is like really funny. So then obviously because I was in watching them, the algorithm's like, here's more Dropout stuff, and now I'm so deep in the well.
So Make Some Noise is great. There's a guy on there called Jake Kawazowski or something.
Okay.
Quite a big guy. He is.
I've seen some of his bits.
He is the funniest guy ever and one of my favorite. Also, Game Changers gets wild.
I can only imagine.
Expect a few amazing Brennan Lee Mulligan monologues.
Yeah.
That are just.
I've seen one of his monologues from it before, which when I say in that moment I understood why everyone loves the man, it was that moment. It was one where he's like, have you worked out what the rule is tonight, Brendan? It's like, I cannot win.
Yep.
It's brilliant.
That clip is so good.
Like,
it's just
I feel like a douche saying it.
Okay.
Because I'm not as good a person as Brendan Lee Mulligan is.
Are you just saying?
I feel a very strong affinity towards him. Because he is insanely competitive, like me. He is incredibly fuck capitalism, fuck this, fuck that. I believe what I believe, and I know I'm right. I resonate with him. when we talk about relatability of characters in like Pop Culture Powerhouse and that, I do not relate to anyone as much as I relate to Brendan Lee Mulligan. He is incredibly relatable.
I'm just so glad that you're now fully discovering him, because I've mentioned him a few times over the time of us doing this like podcast for different things, but I love him. He's such a great person.
Yeah, and I've started working my way through some of the Dimension 20 campaigns. So
I need to watch more of them.
I've watched Tiny Heist, which was like me dipping my toe in, because I was like, it's only a few episodes, which means it won't be too complex for me to follow. We'll see how it goes. And now I've started with Fantasy High, which is like one of the biggest ones, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, I'm loving it. It's great. There's so much to watch on there, and I've said this a number of times. I consume content at a level that puts me in the top 0.1% in the world, and no one can convince me otherwise. Which means, there might be hundreds of hours of D&D on there. I will get through all of it in a scary pace.
Well, once you're done with that, we'll get you on Critical Role. That'll slow you down a bit.
But yeah, let's get into it.
Yes.
We have got our second Pride Month character profile.
We do.
And this one's quite a poignant one. We've got Kitty Pryde. So, Catherine Ann Pryde, aka Kate or Kitty, first appeared in X-Men number 129 in October 1979. At the age of 13, Kitty's powers began to emerge in the form of greatly powerful headaches. These were caused by her body ever so slightly shifting its tangibility. These powers were, as usual, detected by Cerebro and Professor X, who alongside Storm and some other members went out to see about bringing Kitty back to the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. Unfortunately, the evil Hellfire Club had also noticed Kitty's abilities to phase through objects and sent Emma Frost, their White Queen, to go and obtain her. Emma Frost and her Hellfire Knights attacked Kitty and the X-Men, taking the X-Men prisoner. Kitty bravely hid upon their hovercraft and got the information needed from Storm to call out for help, summoning Cyclops and some other members of the X-Men to come to the rescue. Having learnt about all of what had taken place, her parents were reluctant to send her to Xavier's school. However, they conceded after some persuasion that it would be best. Kitty would go on to join the team, where she would become known as Sprite, before eventually being renamed as Shadowcat. She formed deep, lifelong friendships with many X-Men favourites, like Logan, Storm. She also had a romantic relationship with Colossus, as well as befriending his little sister. She served on Excalibur, the British-based Mutant team, and due to her young induction into the X-Men at 13 or 14, she's been a superhero for most of her life. However, on numerous occasions, she has tried to retire and just live a normal life, but this never lasts long. Kitty is bisexual. However, this was only confirmed in more recent years. Original creator of Kitty, Chris Claremont, has said he always intended for Kitty to be bisexual, and initially his plans were for her to be madly in love with Rachel Summers. However, this was never allowed to happen due to the Comics Code Authority rules, which banned any LGBT representation whatsoever. Despite this, Claremont and other writers continued to hint at Kitty's true feelings throughout the years until eventually and finally in 2020, she was finally shown to be kissing a female tattoo artist, which finally allowed Kitty to be the character she was always destined and designed to be. Which is a really interesting point here. And actually I got annoyed researching this for a number of reasons.
Why is it taking so long?
That's the first thing. So, the Comic Code Authority was created in 1954.
Right.
And it was caused because a man whose name I forget wrote a book post World War II about how comic books were the biggest threat to America's youth and were the perfect way to create like a Hitler army, essentially. You think what Hitler was doing was bad with propaganda.
Okay.
Comics are more dangerous.
Right.
The beginning of the whole video games cause violence kind of bullshit. Yeah. Except comic books were the target at the time. So as a result, the Comics Code Authority was formed, which had rules about everything.
Okay.
It wasn't just about representation. It was also about how violence could be depicted, how any kind of sexual relationship could take place, how government officials were allowed to be portrayed, stuff like that. Yes. Which is why when you look back at comics from that time, they feel very
flat.
Yes, and they feel quite pro-police, which a lot of characters wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And it also shows how you've got so many people who don't understand that the X-Men have always represented minorities because the X-Men weren't allowed to, so they had to be smart about it.
Yeah.
So that's the first bit that annoyed me. The second bit was I was going back to find articles from when Kitty Pryde was finally confirmed as bisexual. And one article said after years of queer baiting, Kitty Pryde has finally come out as bisexual. Now, as a straight man, I am not too qualified to speak. I understand that. However, I think it is well documented enough at this point to say that suggesting queer baiting is abhorrent. It's much worse when talking about an actual person. Accusing a real life human being of queer baiting is really bad because you're saying that they're lying about their sexuality when actually they're just being themselves and you're interpreting that in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can accuse Kitty Pryde of queer baiting because for the majority of her run when she was at her biggest, it was seen as queer baiting, yes, but it was because she wasn't allowed to be the character she was supposed to be. And then different writers took over who won't have known Chris Claremont's original intention, so they just will have looked back at her history and never really acted on it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But it shines an important light on LGBT representation and why it's so important, because this character was supposed to have existed since 1979 as a bisexual character, and they were only fully allowed to be who they were supposed to be 41 years later.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is why we need representation. That is why representation matters. And despite what some people who have far too much internet clout might say, these people do exist, they are real, and they do fucking matter. So yeah, Kitty Pryde is obviously more than her sexual orientation.
Yeah.
What you'll also notice from a lot of her story is Jubilee from X-Men 97 is very much a Kitty Pryde archetype character.
Gotcha.
In the sense of much younger than the rest of the team, gets brought into the fold, is treated like a younger sibling who kind of gets held back from really being able to be a full X-Men because they are so young, and goes on to view Logan, ironically, as a bit of a father figure and grows quite close with the likes of Storm and Jean and stuff.
It's funny. We all know Logan hates that.
And he does, but he doesn't. He likes to be this gruff person. But once one of these kids is around for a few years, he does unfortunately just accept that he is dad. And it is quite funny. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's Kitty Pryde. Also, I didn't find a way to naturally include this. She kind of has like a pet dragon, but a little one. But it's actually an alien. Comics in the 90s were weird.
A lot of LSD and acid.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's Kitty Pryde.
Cool. Very cool.
The Acolyte, episode 3.
Yes.
Pride Month, baby.
Yeah. Now.
That took you a second, didn't it?
Star Wars fans, in quotation marks. I need to call out the people that seemingly are getting their feelings hurt because they've not realized that the Jedi actually aren't the good people that they thought they were, and they're suddenly getting butthurt that they're being portrayed as the bad guy. And it's whiny. Like usually, I know like your Twitter, you see a lot more of like the trolls and the haters and stuff, and I usually don't see much of that, but for some reason
They
this
found their
episode
way.
they've just like sprouted out, because it's like people that normally wouldn't even have, and I'm like, are you just oblivious to like who the Jedi are, that you now think, oh, Disney's ruining them, they're making them into these like people that they're not, and it's like, what?
It's become a buzzword, and I know we've said it before. Media literacy has never been so deep in the fucking bin.
It's like the Star Wars fans that were like fine with everything, but they for some reason, as soon as you start showing the Jedi as like maybe they're the bad guy, they're like, no, that's not possible. These are the people that I've like always wanted to be for years. Don't make me seem like I now want to be some creep.
Here's the problem, right? The Jedi as an order are not inherently bad or inherently good, because a group of people cannot be inherently bad or inherently good. It's individuals that are good and bad.
Yeah.
Therefore, when it is small, you can make sure it's just good individuals. Once the Jedi Order is at the peak of its numbers and they're training all these kids to be very powerful beings, some of them are not going to be good. And therefore, if you're not good at weeding them out, they will be there. I don't know, like the fucking police force.
Well, and it's also the thing of like, suddenly they're realizing that maybe some of the things the Jedi did, like picking up kids and then controlling the ability to be the only ones to allow to like have a right to test these kids, is maybe this is not a normal thing. Maybe this is a bit weird and a bit creepy.
Yeah. Like, how are they allowed to rock up on a planet that, as they said, is not under the Republic, and just go, we're taking this child for testing? Yeah. And yeah, they went with your permission, but that was more them going, we can either fight you and take them for testing, or you can willingly let them be tested. And if they pass the test, we take them. You're stealing children.
It's funny because it's like, people pointed out, oh, it's kind of like in the trilogy, it's like, oh, the fact that they just take like Luke off his planet and he's like goes and becomes, and it's like, oh, they force these kids to become Jedi and then fight in a war. But they're kind of like, oh, yeah, it's kind of war, like they're protecting them from the Sith, because they're about, this is meant to be like High Republic, there's no Sith about. And it's like, it's like the fans are suddenly realizing, wait, that's not actually a good, that's, maybe the Jedi were overstepping.
And that's the thing, it's not that the Jedi are bad, they were just overstepping.
Yeah,
constantly.
they're just, yeah.
We need to separate church and state, even in make-believe worlds, because when the biggest religion has too much power on how politics are done, shit goes wrong every time.
But from our point of view, I really enjoyed this episode.
Such a good episode. I know we're in a big disagreement over the big point at the end of it.
I think I'm going to be able to sway you, because I've noticed, I've gone back, I've deep dived this episode because I was intrigued, and I think I have things that I've noticed that might help sway you to my
yes, me, famously swayable. Let's do this.
If anyone can do it, it's me.
Let's just catch people up in case they watch reviews of stuff they haven't seen.
Spoiler.
We've gone back to Osha and May's childhood. We see what's going on. We realise that Osha enjoys being a twin. She likes feeling like her and her sister are one and the same, whereas, May enjoys being a twin and enjoys being one and the same. Osha doesn't like being a twin. Complete side note, I found it very weird they didn't use actual twins. Or they didn't use identical twins.
Yeah,
I found that weird. I found it noticeable. I found it, like, don't get me wrong, it actually doesn't matter. They should just get the best young actresses. Yeah. And it's not like they look so dissimilar, but it was very noticeable.
I think
it felt weird.
It's tough because obviously there's a limited pool of child twin. There's not going to be it's going to be hard to find that. So
I can imagine there is a very small pool of twin black girls in the right age range who are actresses. Yes, but I do feel, and maybe it's me being a bit negative.
Job.
No, but here's my concern. I worry that they were just kind of like, the majority of Star Wars fans are white. They won't notice. That's my concern. I don't know if
Maybe.
that is what happened, but that's my concern. My concern is they kind of went, and they won't notice.
I think it's also just what's generally done as well sometimes in that situation.
I'm surprised we haven't seen complaints about it on Twitter, in all fairness.
But yeah, they're back on their home planet,
Yes.
which we meet their mother and this covenant. Now, this is not the Witches of Dathomir. This is not
No,
the
it
Night
isn't.
Sisters.
They are other witches.
Like many people, got the same vibes. The showrunner, she has confirmed that they are not Witches of Dathomir. It kind of, they are influenced by them, or that she took influence from them and influence from some the Path of the Open Hand, which I mentioned in like the preview to Acolyte a few episodes back, which was like this group of people that in the books are mentioned, and they kind of have the attitude of no one should be using the Force as a weapon or power. It's meant to just be like meditated on and not actually used as a, I don't know, a tool or like however the like no one has the right to actually wield the Force. So it's kind of pulled from both of them. It also, you got to think in this period of time, it's the golden age of the Jedi. Lots of people know about the Force. You also have to look at this like religion. There is many religions that all tell the same story but are different flavors. It would make sense that in that time you have the Jedi, you have the Sith, you have the Witches of Dathomir, you had those mountain folk that we saw in Tales of the Empire. You have these other witches. They're all on about the same thing, which is the Force, the thread, whatever you want to call it. It's just they have their own little ways of worshipping it, interpreting
it's the exact
it.
same what we see. Islam, Judaism, and Christianity are all rooted in the exact same thing. Islam reveres Jesus as a prophet, just not the Son of God.
Yeah.
Judaism is the Old Testament of what Christians call the Bible. Like they're all the same. It's just different interpretations, and they've gone different ways.
Yep.
It makes complete sense that Star Wars would have a similar idea surrounding something that does absolutely 100% exist, like the Force.
And just like Christianity, trying to propose themselves as the one true religion, the Jedi, it would make sense they talk about the fact that they were exiled and went into hiding. It's almost like the Jedi might be going around shutting all these things down because they want to be the only one that is the true use of the Force.
They don't want the other kids who are Force users learning different stuff. They want to teach them.
They want to have full control of who can use the Force.
Exactly.
Bit of weird behavior, if you ask me. So I will say they gave me Sith energy vibes, which I think
I
is.
think you're just a misogynist.
What?
Women using the Force, they must be evil.
No. The whole mention of power of two, mirroring that rule of two.
I think it's the dyad thing.
I think there is that to it, but I think like the wording is very similar. Obviously, we had a female, I forget what that race is called with the horn or the spikes, like Darth Maul, that are from Dathomir. It's just obviously them being witches, and the terminology gives me more like Night Sisters and Sith side of like, which I have a theory about, which we'll get to later. But yeah, we see their little like temple in the mountains. We learn a lot more about these two twins. We learn that they were created from some weird sus way that the Jedi would not be happy about. Also gives me vibes of Sith energy.
Yeah.
And we also know that the mother created them, but her right-hand side lady was the one that carried them, which I think has got everybody up in arms. we are Star Wars fans, but we're apparently homophobic.
Oh, the bit about that annoyed me even more than just the blatant homophobia was that people were like, oh, so they're just trying to make Anakin less special. It's like, what jumps are we making here? They're like, oh, Anakin was the chosen one because he didn't have a dad like Jesus. He was an immaculate conception. And now they're just trying to make it so that anyone can do that. And it's like, this is not even close to the same thing. And also, who gives a fuck?
Also, we don't actually know. Maybe it was an evil force that put Anakin. Like that was a thing that was kind of floated around for a while as a theory. But
let's be completely clear here.
The force is balance.
If you do not like the Acolyte, if you do not like what Disney have done with Star Wars, stop fucking watching it. I'm so sick of us having to spend half of the time where we want to be excited and talk about the shows we're enjoying, talking about other people moaning about it.
Yeah.
Why are you still here? The same fuckers who complained about episode 1 and 2 last week. Why did you come back?
True.
Stay fucking gone.
True.
Have you ever watched the first episodes of a show, been so angry by them you felt a need to vent on the internet, and then gone back to watch the rest of the show?
Yeah. It's wild that they keep watching and keep hating
just
for this
fuck off.
But yeah, so we get this inner look, and the way that it's them talking about the Force, but just in their own terms.
Yeah.
Like we've said, it's just their interpretation of it. They talk about it as being the thread, which we've actually heard the term thread used by the Jedi in the prequels and stuff. It's all about the same thing. And then, we see this relationship of the twins being one's all about what they're meant to be, and the other one clearly has this urge of feeling to want to do more, which is Osha. They have their usual sibling bickering, is what I get from those vibes.
Yeah. It's just a lot more dangerous when you have the power of
and then we get it's some full moon-esque night, and it's time to indoctrinate these two kids.
Yeah, religion sucks.
Yeah. And the Jedi rock up. We thought this planet was uninhabited yet. Immediately called out on their bullshit, which I loved.
Yeah.
It was the Jedi are just oblivious to the things around them. Okay, we believe that.
and then outs himself even further a couple of things later. He was like, that child didn't have that mark earlier. Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? You said you didn't know anyone was here.
So obviously then they're like, we want to test them. At this point, only May had the little thing, symbol put on her forehead. Osha didn't get her ritual or whatever done. The kids argue.
A sick new tattoo.
Then they're like, the parents are just like, oh well, the kids can go fake it. The Jedi will leave us alone. It's fine. I mean, on paper, logical plan. Was never going to work.
No.
And they obviously agreed to do that. They go meet the Jedi the next day. Osha gets called out for lying, or caught out, because Sol keeps going, he knows what's going on, and he goes, correct, and then she goes, wait, that's not oh shit, I just doubted myself.
Yeah. So funny. Such a good way of doing it. It's like, correct, and she's like, no, it was what?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the same test that they did to Anakin in the prequels, and they did the blood thing to check for midichlorians.
Maybe that's why the Jedi failed, because in 100 years they didn't improve their methods. Yeah.
Oh, it's weird, that, isn't it? But yeah, there's they just rock up, clearly been sent to this planet. I think partly because they've obviously found out there was some kids or something there being trained. Also, probably to get rid of said Coven. This is where then things go wrong that evening, and we'll get onto theories of what actually happened here.
Yeah.
So May comes into the room, tells Osha, I'm not letting you go. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Very, very rational and well thought out response, I feel. Very, very smart.
Just remember that tone of how she was when she saw her sister, right? Obviously, then we see a clip of her picking a lamp off like a oil lamp off the wall or whatever. The next scene is we just see May and the door's already on fire. We don't see who started the fire. We presume. No, we
see her light the book on fire.
We see her light the book, but we don't like a book does not make a door just be engulfed in flames. Just because we see her light the book and then we don't see anything else, but we hear a smash and there's fire. Now, this is just a theory. Obviously, then everything we see of this situation is from Osha's POV.
Yeah.
Her escaping through a little hatch, showing a little mech neck abilities already starting to shine. Then she ends up on a bridge opposite May. Soul just is already there. Rapid time. The fire's only just started, mate. How are you there? Weird that the Jedi are already there. Also, then we get a clip of... I think it's at this point we see the clip of the room full of... all the dead Covenant, all in one place. No rubble around. Just all on the floor. Very weird. May drops on the bridge. Obviously, we know she's alive. Doesn't show a body. Osha presumes she's dead.
Yeah, it's part of showing how Osha thought she could possibly be dead and how May could possibly think Osha was dead.
So, Soul saves Osha. Obviously hasn't worked out how to do the force catching yet.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, she wakes up on the ship. To note, things that I've noted, and like they say there was a fire, everyone's dead, we're already on the way to Coruscant. We then get a clip at the end of May at the tree, and this is where I think things are a bit weird. If May wanted to kill Osha and was intent on her not leaving, why did she get to the tree and then call out for May? Like she was like, worried.
Call out for Osha.
Osha, sorry.
It
was a very different tone.
Flippant.
Yes, but I'm going to recall your mind back to when the Jedi arrived. And Mother very strongly took over the control of the Padawan. Made his eyes go black over Torben. And could it be, this is where dark forces come back in play, was May Sith influenced by something? Someone messing with her mind, being like, so she didn't allow this to happen. Sith like to cause chaos. Also to point out on the ship, this whole point with Osha, we didn't see Kalnaka.
Yeah.
Except at the ship. We didn't even see him when May woke up. You probably won't. I've gone back and I've seen this clip, the trailer again. I've rewatched the trailer because there's a clip that I saw someone point out, so I went to check. There's a clip in the trailer, Kalnaka jumping.
Attacking Torben.
Torben doesn't have a scar when they first get there, and on the ship behind Sol when Osha wakes up, he's got you can see there's a mark. I think more shit went down that we didn't see. I think Mother, something happened. I think what we're going to get shown is Kalnaka gets mind controlled and attacks Torben. I think then the Jedi fight them. And the Jedi caused more of the chaos and ended up killing them and covering that up.
See, the way the bodies were arranged in we'll call it the prayer room, when we see them all there, is not a fight.
No.
That is, we've all sat down and we've done something together. That's why I instantly went, that's mass suicide. Because if you look at that, and it sounds really morbid, but you see pictures that have gone viral of places like Jonestown and stuff, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That is what that is more reminiscent of than, the Jedi tried to slaughter Force users. Because that's not what that looks like. I will concede that the mother with the horns is fishy.
Yep.
And some people do think she might have been involved in what went down. I can also agree that maybe she mind controlled Thorbin and Kalnaka was dealing with him.
Mm.
And that's where he gets the scar from. And Thorbin obviously was blacked out, doesn't remember anything. And that's why he felt so guilty. Because she could have changed his memories or whatever and made him think he did something wrong. I don't think the writers will have gone so far off the reservation that they've made it so the Jedi slaughtered a bunch of women. I can see them turning up and covering up someone orchestrating a mass suicide or poisoning a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think the mass slaughter might be a bit of a stretch. I do think more is at play.
Absolutely.
I don't think Thorbin was the one that attacked the others, because I think Thorbin felt guilty because they essentially caused that to happen by going there and trying to take these children. So I think he was young and he feels guilty for what they set in motion. Also, why would Kalnaka have retreated to the forest to live alone if it wasn't because maybe he got mind control and now he doesn't feel like he is, like, if he can just be taken over, he wants to go isolate himself because he doesn't trust himself anymore.
Yeah.
There's clearly some shit happened with the Jedi because we didn't see all that stuff, and I think they're doing this on purpose. I think we're going to get episodes where it shows a different perspective, and we're going to have to piece together which is the actual legit thing that happened.
Well, that's the other important thing to note. The first two episodes were the two words on opposite sides of the coin for the first two titles, and we got an equal amount of Osha and May. This one only had a one-word title, and we only got Osha's point of view.
Something I've just thought, going back to, you said, well, we see May like the book. That's because Osha presumed, like, that's just something Osha's presumed.
There is some unreliable narrator stuff going on for sure.
There is definitely some, like, we're gonna have to piece this together over a few episodes.
Yeah, I think in 2 or 3 weeks' time we're gonna get the other side of the story from May's point of view. I don't think we get it this week coming. I think it's a few weeks. I think they make us wait.
I think we might get May's point of view after the fact of, like, and it doesn't really show how, like, what she remembers. And then I think we also get the Jedi, or we get the Jedi's point of view, then we get the actual point of view or something.
Maybe.
I just think it's all very suspicious. Now, with my Sith theory, okay, we know there's a Sith apprentice, or there's a Sith guy trying to get an apprentice.
Yeah.
We don't know how long he's been about.
Nope.
Could
be oldling you?
True. We don't know if these witches clearly were trying to escape and hide. What if they stumbled upon someone who offered them some help to hide and have, like, security? Maybe a Sith influenced person who taught them how to create life, because they want them to create a Force Dryad, because that theory is floating around.
Yeah.
What if this is that Sith guy? Hence the whole power of two, rule of two. Also, there's, like, if you think to Mando when Grogu goes to that, like, Jedi like strong planet where he goes to that little temple thing on top of the hill and he's meditating, could be that this planet's Sith strong, like it's an old temple. Maybe it's an old Sith temple, hence why they're able to draw power there.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Just because of the whole, we like to see balance across all the Star Wars stuff. It's just, I think there's some fishy stuff going on with, obviously, how these twins were created, that I think is going to be, because we know this is the downfall of the Jedi, so I feel like there's going to be some Sith influence in places that we don't realize that was weaving threads to start the downfall of the Jedi.
I completely agree.
But I really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed the mysticism and all the, and I'm enjoying the way they're telling this story, like the mystery side of it.
I enjoy not feeling like I know everything about the Star Wars universe.
Yes,
I
that too.
I like feeling like and I don't feel a need to know exactly what the witches believed in.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like, okay,
like
cool.
they,
They're a splinter group that have their own belief system. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't need to know more than that. It just gives a bit of
my thing was just like,
thickness to the
yeah,
universe.
I see them. I'm like, oh, they give me Witches of Dathomir vibes. I look it up. They're not. They're just something of their own. I'm like, okay, cool. They just have their own belief in the Force. That's as much as it needs to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, very excited for the next episode.
Do you know what I have belief in?
What's that?
The justice system. Because
Oh.
it exonerated Homelander for doing nothing wrong.
Thank God that our justice system is better in the real world. And we won't see the US have a president who's got a criminal record.
To be fair, at least Trump got found guilty.
True, that's what
So to start off, before we actually get into talking about the show, I just want to say, earlier this week, Eric Kripke, and we'll talk about the big thing he said during the news segment, but he said, I don't care if you want to call the show woke, we're not going to be afraid and we're not going to pull our punches, we're going to tell the story we're trying to tell here.
Which we love.
So what the creator of your favourite show, if you're a right-wing douchebag, has said, if you want to claim it's woke, you're being a baby back bitch.
Yep.
Stop
also, if you're going to start
soft.
crying about you're poking fun at us, again, tough shit.
Yeah. So, The Boys is back.
Yes,
the boys
season
are back
4.
in town. I'm enjoying it so far. We're 2 episodes in. The story's just getting going. Yeah. We've already got some very interesting threads.
We have, yes. And we've already had a couple of shock moments, I feel.
Yes. We've got Homelander having a midlife crisis.
Yep.
Which is glorious.
Yeah, I love it.
He's spent 3 seasons trying to bully people into not questioning him.
Yep.
And now, within 2 episodes, he's already had to go out and get the smartest person in the world who can't hold their tongue because he's sick of yes men.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
it's such a Rooster's coming home.
He's like lived this life of like a perfect, pristine image, and now his body is aging, and he's like dealing with all that. Mm-hmm. His son is having a bit of a mental crisis on if he's good or bad.
I'm really happy that Ryan isn't drinking the Kool-Aid.
Same, but I think it could still change.
Yeah, I'm actually scared for him. Because if he was just agreeing with Homelander, I hope he would be safe. I'm worried
he's not.
About what's going to happen because he's not.
I'm also I'm glad that he's not drinking the Kool-Aid, but now I worry for his safety because I'm like, if he suddenly goes, no, you're wrong for that, might be the thing that pushes Homelander over the edge to just go, right, screw you all, you're all inferior, including my son, and just start murdering people.
Exactly.
Like, more so than he already does. Yeah. I think the fact as well that Homelander pushed him to do more than he was going to do with that save and accidentally killing the stunt guy, I think that might be the catalyst that starts to drive a wedge.
Absolutely. We've got the very interesting arc. Do you know what the entire arc of this season is?
Go on.
Your past coming back to haunt you.
Yeah.
In the sense of Homelander, it's realizing that his past is his past and he's getting old.
Yeah, and he's tried to build the image and it's all actually not what he wants.
Butcher realizing that he's only got so much time left to live. You've got Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character. Is it Jeffrey Dean Morgan? I think that's right.
Which one?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Oh my god, I was fucking right. The guy from The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. Rocking up.
That's clearly a character from his past that's going to cause a problem. He is making peace with his past because he knows he doesn't have long.
Yep.
You've got Huey dealing with his past in the sense of his mother coming back home after all these years.
Yeah, and neglecting his dad because he's so tied up in everything.
You've got Annie trying to deal with the past of leaving Starlight behind, and how can I be Starlight without giving Vought what they want?
Yep.
You've got who else we got? We've got Kimiko trying to get over her past traumas
Yes.
of being illegally trafficked and being a child fighter and all of that.
Yep.
When she was in that therapy session, she's like, "Oh, psychological mutism sometimes a sign of trauma." I was laying down on the sofa. I literally laughed. I was like, "There might not be anyone more traumatized than Kimiko."
Yeah.
Before that point in the series, she'd already been murdered like twice or whatever it was, and had her entire arm ripped off.
Yeah.
Like, she is the most traumatized. If anyone owns the copyright to trauma, it is her.
If anyone's allowed to be a mute, it's her.
Honestly. You've got Frenchie dealing with the trauma of his past life and the fact that it might stop
Suddenly
him
getting
being with the one
complicated.
person he likes.
Yeah.
That was
Accidentally falling in
a
love.
crazy
Yeah,
reveal.
I was like, I was thinking it was something like he was worried about everyone he's like been connected to ends up in danger or killed, and I was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was him worrying about that happening again, not the fact that this guy
murdered the
that's
man's
falling
family.
for him and he's kind of ended up having a bit of feelings for is also the son of the family killed.
Yeah.
Wild turn of events.
Crazy. But my favourite bit of the story
Okay.
is your man who was looking after Mother Milk's daughter
Oh,
and became a
Todd.
massive became a massive home tard, getting killed for it by Homelander. And the beauty of it is, people who live and die by Trump will not realize that that is Eric Kripke going, he will kill you before the people you hate kill you.
Oh yeah, Trump would kill you and use you and not care.
Whereas the left, like the people
Yeah.
who dislike Trump, wouldn't kill you.
Yeah.
And people will not realize that that's the point that the show is making there. That it is the person you think is the best of all time will kill you before the people you hate will.
Yeah, it's
crazy. It was brutal.
Oh yeah. Like you said, there's so many storylines if everyone's past is coming to catch up to them. The only one I'm slightly different thinking, I don't think the guy from Butcher's past is going to be an issue. I think he's going to give Butcher a more problematic option going forward, where Butcher's going to start crossing some lines that he was trying not to cross, but now he's like, well, fuck it. And he has a platform to do it. I think that might be the issue there.
Quite possibly. I think the other thing that I'm loving, I think, is a hilarious decision, is Noir's replacement not being able to shut the fuck up.
Yes. Also, do we think that is
No, it's not Sam.
I didn't think so. I was like, as soon as he spoke, I was like, that's not Sam's voice. Unless they're trying to make it sound different because it's for a mask. But I was like, who? I was trying to work out if we know who this is.
I don't think we do. I think it is another generic superhero.
Someone generically strong.
Who is also black and has just been thrown under the mask.
I wouldn't even surprise me if they're not black.
No, they are. In the cast list on Amazon Prime, you can see who it is.
Oh, can you? I've not paid attention.
But their character name is just listed as Black Noir number 2.
Oh, okay.
But that is, yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea that. I like the idea that they're an actor, like a strong suit, but they were an actor and they've literally been hired as you just need to play Noir, and now they're realizing, hang on, why am I'm getting in a bit too deep here.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? With Gen V, we found out how like their university system works.
Yeah.
And when you go to university, you become a crime fighter or you become a performer.
Yeah.
And this person clearly went to Godolkin as a performer and then got hired to pretend to be Noir.
It'd be a wild twist if it's someone we've seen in Gen V.
Oh, just like a background character.
Yeah, it's cool. Someone that was in one of the other classes that maybe we saw at like a party or in one of the scenes, and it's like, oh, now they got called in to be.
Yeah. But very, very interesting for sure. I'm loving where it is. Obviously, we're only through 2 episodes here. We'll be covering episode 3 next week. But Phenomenal start.
I'm liking the storyline of this idea that the world's smartest person girl is like teaching him how to build this like fascist state that he wants.
But she's also manipulating him.
Well, yeah, because he's an idiot, even though he thinks he's smart.
But this is, ironically, this is exactly what I said, because Jenna's not really watched The Boys, so I was watching it, and I was like, they're trailing her around this convention center. She definitely knows they're there. The boys are not smart enough for her to not have spotted them and realized what's happening. She has already proven just in this episode that she is 9 steps ahead of where you think she is. Even as a viewer and like rule number 1 is always make your viewer feel intelligent. And that's what the show does really well. So on a number of occasions, people are like, oh, she's further ahead in the plan than I would expect her to be. The second I clock that, they turned up at that convention center. I'm like, you're there because she wants you to be. And lo and behold, she literally made sure they got there so that she could test firecracker into killing them.
Yeah. It's wild though, like the whole like planting the bodies, saw that coming. As soon as he was like kill them, I was like, oh, they're about to plant these bodies to make it seem like to trick his supporters into thinking that the good side, the actual good side, has done the bad thing.
Yeah.
Which I was like, this is a bit too realistic.
Yeah, no.
Too realistic of a believable thing to happen.
You sit there and you're like, it's completely believable and it does make complete sense. These guys want to believe they're fighting the good fight and they have the moral superiority, but they don't. So how do you cement that? You kill some of them and blame the actual good guys.
Yep. Also, the fact that the CIA are trying to kill the next presidential candidate is such a CIA thing to do.
No, the vice president-elect, thank you.
Sorry. But it is the CIA.
Yeah. It's so funny that the president-elect is orchestrating the murder of his vice president. Fucking hilarious.
It's just CIA things.
Because I was really curious why, like, the Secret Service let them through there. I'm like, have they planted these people? And then President Singer walks in, and I'm like, oh my god. So he's realised what the fucking problem is, but he can't just separate from her because she'll blow his head off.
Yeah, it's like, I realised this guards must have been something to do with, is it Gracie, the CIA lady?
Yeah, Grace.
Yeah. Grace. I was like, I knew it was going to be something to do with them because we knew that they were sort of working under her. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to that level of who's actually...
You didn't realise Singer was going to be involved.
No.
Also, the notion that they had to tell them two Secret Service guys' family... Not that they got ripped to shreds by a superpowered daughter, but rather, they did too many bumps of coke laced with fentanyl and they just fucking died. Is crazy.
Yeah. Also, so we know Butcher's on the clock.
Do you mean like until he expires?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
As in like he's on a clock now of like how long he's got left. And we know it's like some black mass. Which we take that as a tumor, or that's what I took it.
It's brain cancer. Yeah.
Why was there a worm wiggling around under his skin?
It's a really good question, isn't it?
And I don't think. I think there's some other shit gonna go wrong with him.
So, what I would say is, technically, it can still be cancer without being. Something is designated as cancerous when it's mutated.
True.
So, like, it can be a cancer, but it might be, like, not what we think of as a cancer.
True. It could not be like it could be just something that's...
They could look at that and go, oh, you've had a massive mutation, it's cancer, cool. They might not then go, oh, because it was from that fucking Temp V bullshit, you've also got this weird brain worm that's eating you, yeah.
True. I just thought it was very interesting that they were so like they really showed that, and I was like, It also made me very uncomfortable as it started going towards his eye because I thought we were about to see like
every time. Yeah, and it's not like they shy away from that. They literally showed a man who can duplicate himself, rimming himself off.
The text to head popper, and she was like, and it was like, "This is your files," and she opens it, and it was just his ass. Just made me laugh. I was like, "Of course."
Yeah.
And then the human centipede of clones was, that was not quite what I was expecting.
I don't understand why he did so many clones. Because he's just doing it for his own benefit.
I presume they're all connected, and the more there is, the more intense the feeling is.
Oh no! I see. I would buy that theory if not for the fact he wasn't wincing when his clones were getting shot in the fucking head.
True, that's true. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe because they're all, it's a clone of him, so they all want to feel that pleasure.
Oh, okay. No, I get that.
They all want to experience it, so there's like, that's why they're all like, no, I want to like keep duplicating because we all want to feel. It was a very wild sight to see.
Have I consumed too much superhero media? When the second he started duplicating again after I killed the first few, I was like, you just got to kill the Prime. Fuck the other ones, kill the Prime.
Well, or my attitude was like, I didn't necessarily think killing the Prime would stop all of them. I was just like, you just need to be quicker at killing them all. Like, you keep leaving one in the corner and he duplicates again. Why are you stopping and not just killing the last one?
When I realised he was hiding in the corner and that was the one we're all splitting for, I was like, cool, he's the prime one, kill him, the rest of them will die. Just kill him. Why kill 15 people when you can kill one?
Do you know what that's funny? It's like, this is slight tangent, but in D&D, necromancers often have raised things, and you end up spending so much time fighting all the things, you just got to kill the guy that actually started them, and they all drop dead.
It's always the way. You just kill the prime.
The way they all went, no, the prime.
Well, I was really confused when they were all talking. I was like, oh, maybe they don't look like the prime.
I realised it was a delayed thing.
And then they were like, no, the prime. I was like, oh no, they're all going to die.
Yeah, it's like because you've also got to remember, he didn't die instantly. So technically, with that crowbar through the head, he was bleeding out. So there'll be a few seconds before he technically died.
Full brain dead, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was brutal. They did not need to have man's cock hanging out for the entire fight.
Yeah, that's so.
It's the boys. It's what we've come to expect from the boys. Yeah.
Here's the thing. That didn't shock me. I'm like, this is the boys. The thing that shocked me the most was the human centipede thing. Just for the pure like shock factor of wasn't expecting that, and then I'm like, of course. But then it was, do you know what got me more? Was the constant close-up of the guy's mouth and it having like some I was like, why do we have to keep going back to this guy?
Yeah. It was not.
I thought the pink eye was funny though as well.
Very funny. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Sage and Firecracker officially joining the 7.
Yeah.
Which we know happens from the trailer.
Yeah.
The internet is going to be unbearable about Firecracker because when they saw her in the trailer, they're like, I'd let her call me slurs, which is an outrageous thing to say even to Twitter likes.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, there were some people on Twitter going, she can call me slurs.
Oh, no.
Which, I mean, is funny, but it's also kind of the point, isn't it? Like, literally earlier this week, we saw a woman get fired from her job for going on a racist rant, but because she's pretty and she's just doubled down on it, she's already an incredibly successful right-wing influencer. So, there's that. But so far, so good. I'm excited for the rest of it.
Yeah. I also thought it was interesting that A-Train, once again, sort of showing a good side, which he's done sort of before.
Do you know what it is? It's a graph like this. It is on the up, but it's not a straight line. He's got really good, then got bad, then got good. Because he started getting good, but then Homelander caught him. So he was like, no, I got to fall in line. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And now he's like getting sick of the shit again. And he's like, no, maybe I do want to help.
Yeah, it's that thing. I'm like, at what point is he going to get something that benefits him? So then he turns again.
Exactly.
Also, the Deep standing up for himself. I thought that was...
But it's really interesting because if you remember, that's what it was like in season 1.
Yeah.
This kind of entire... It's like going through all of that, like getting kicked off the 7 and everything because of what Starlight did, or for Starlight correctly calling him out. I shouldn't say for what Starlight did. It's not her fault. He was the piece of shit. Yeah. And like becoming like a very meek person to then Sage just going, you're better than her. You shouldn't take that.
Clearly doing on purpose.
absolutely manipulation
She's got
tactics.
some plan in there for.
Yes. This is the thing. Homelander thinks because he's scary, he can control her. He forgets that she's so smart, she can give him a plan that he thinks is perfect for him
Yeah,
while actually being better for her.
yeah, for sure.
And also, when he's not going to follow that plan, i.e., interrupting Ryan's first save,
Yeah,
she can just go, well, you didn't follow the plan. You
Yeah.
broke the plan. That's why the plan's not working. Even better.
also,
And she'll
let's not.
probably know that he was going to interrupt that.
Yeah,
Based on what
probably.
we've seen from her, she probably knew, oh, if I tell him he can't be part of it and then have Black Noir and the Deep be part of it, he will just turn up and ruin it.
Yeah. Also, let's not forget Gen V people are in the basement. We haven't seen them yet.
No, we have not. But Godolkin has already been referenced a couple of times.
It has a couple of times.
So it would be definitely very interesting to see where that goes. I did enjoy the Will Ferrell cameo.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Back to making the fucking movie. That director guy's back making a movie again.
Yeah, for A-Train's
Coach.
For A-Train's true life story film, which is completely different from his true life story.
Yeah.
And of course, because he's a black dude, he has to have been selling drugs before making it.
Yeah.
It's so funny the way this show just does poke fun at the bullshit of the world. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And from the boys to gaming with the boys, Josh is back once again with an absolutely massive gaming roundup this month. Welcome, 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 Josh.
Thank you very much. Yep, as promised from the last episode, weekend just gone, we had Summer Games Fest weekend, so we've got a whole load of news to cover. We're going to be going over the games, the sort of bigger games that we're likely to play and are interested in, rather than listing every game, because we'll be here for hours otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you boys tune in, check it out?
We watched Ubisoft Forward. I didn't watch the Xbox Showcase. I didn't even go back and watch it.
I went back and watched the Xbox and the main one because I missed the main one. So yeah, I've seen all the showcase. I think there was only the second day there was some like indie one that I didn't watch.
They always do the indie dev one straight after Summer Games Fest. I also haven't checked that out. I've only watched the big three.
There we go. We are AAA snobs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, it's Friday night, kicked off Summer Games Fest. Jeff came out and addressed all the layoffs in the gaming industry, which was a complaint from the Game Awards. Everyone sort of said that they didn't address it enough. But he came out first thing of the whole showcase, get it out there.
Yeah, which was good.
We always love to see that. And then first thing up was something that we are going to talk about briefly. Lego Horizon Adventures coming holiday this year. It was sort of rumored that there was going to be a Lego Horizon game. This one doesn't look like a story as in it follows the story of the game. This one sort of seems more open world.
Yeah.
I don't like Lego Worlds type thing as opposed to just a story.
It
looks cool.
Feels a bit like they've taken stuff they learned in the Fortnite Lego, like open world.
It looked at one point I thought it might be. Hang on a minute, is this going to be in Fortnite? But
yeah,
no,
I
actual...
thought it was. Is this about to be an expansion because they're doing some partnership with Fortnite? But
it feels like a game that doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, but it's Lego.
It's just Lego, and they're just fun. People who like Lego will play it. People who like Horizon will play it.
Just it's essentially like a Lego game for the PlayStation fans.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So it's a strange one for sure.
But then back-to-back bangers straight after that one, second in the show, Quidditch Champions, which I know we've been specifically us three have been waiting for this one for quite a long time. September 3rd, it will be released supposedly on all platforms. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I'm so excited. One of my favorite PS2 games was Harry Potter's Quidditch World Cup. Goated game where you could play as one of the nations and you could go for like a World Cup tournament and stuff. It was fucking awesome. I love that game so much. The fact that we're getting a new Quidditch game is lit.
Do we know if it's like, because obviously the trailer showed sort of top down and like third person? Is it like FIFA style camera angle?
We don't know yet. So. We only had a cinematic trailer from what I remember seeing. I don't recall any actual gameplay, so I suppose we're gonna have to wait and find out. unless I'm wrong on that.
Because part of me would love like a third person, but I feel like that would be chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one how they get do it.
If Quidditch Pro Clubs is a thing, it has to
Oh, we will
happen.
be there. We will be there.
Quidditch
It will be
Ultimate
so
Team.
much fun. Yeah, it'll be so much fun.
I was intrigued though that it was sort of a cartoony art style as opposed to like the realism of Hogwarts Legacy.
I think
which I'm
works
happy
better
with.
for this. Yeah,
Yeah.
it allows
I
you to do
think
more
it help-
crazy stuff.
It also helps them kind of stand away from that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Something a bit different in it. Following this, we had Star Wars Outlaws, which we will be discussing later on when we cover the Ubisoft showcase. Civilization 7 is coming in 2025. I don't know if either of you play sim games.
So I played a hell of a lot of Civ 5.
Okay.
Back when it was like, it had loads of DLC. Then they brought out Civ 6, and the typical thing that happens is, oh, this is a game with no DLC and like hardly any content. So then me and my mates just didn't play it, and then it kind of died off. So I'm excited for another Civ game. It's been a while.
Yeah,
I've never been a Civ player.
Yeah, same. But the fan base is huge, and I know they've been waiting for this one for quite a while.
Yeah.
The reactions from Civ players has been very, very
It's
good.
Always fun to play as Gandhi and get nukes. What can I say?
I mean, when you put it like that, fair enough. We then had Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, which is like an old school beat 'em up, similar to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. If you've seen any gameplay on that,
and the old Jackie Chan Adventures game.
Yep, similar art style to that. And then next up, Mecha Break is getting a beta this summer. Hori, we know you're the mecha guy.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this one?
I didn't realize when I first saw this is what Mecha Break was. I'd heard that as a upcoming mech game, but from what I've looked into since, it seems like it's like a arena match, like fight. Like you basically pick a mech, fight other people in mechs in a big arena map. So it looks like it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Looks like it'll be very fast paced, so that'll be interesting.
What more do mech fans want though, other than to just be a mech fighting other mechs?
You've got Armored Core, which is like a bit of a story based one, and we just want kit out a mech how we want and get to fight each other. Seems like it'll be a lot of fun.
Exactly.
So you will be there for the summer beta.
I probably will be, yeah.
Love it. Then we had Alan Wake 2 Night Springs DLC, which looks fantastic. There's 3 separate stories, and they include characters from other Remedy games. I know Control was one of them. I've still not got around to playing Alan Wake 2, but that looks fantastic. So I will be coming to that eventually. And then the one next up, we are very mixed thoughts on this one. Skate did get shown because I believe not last year, the year before, I want to say. It was either last year or the year before at the Xbox or Summer Games Fest. The name Skate got dropped, and we basically haven't heard anything since. We had this one. It was sort of a comedy sketch to introduce sort of, I don't even know what it was
It's more of a reveal. So I think it was about a year ago they dropped the name, and then they kind of announced it as like, yes, we are working on Skate, because for ages people were asking for Skate 4.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we are working on it. We are going to show the work, like us developing the game. And then on their socials I've followed, like they've shown like just basic blocked out worlds, and basically showed like them as they've built mechanics, and really showed like the development process.
Yeah, because there was a alpha, wasn't there, where people were skating on literally like Minecraft looking maps.
So they've kept showing different things. From what I've seen over the year of that, it's gonna have like parkour a bit more, so you can basically, they were like, we realized people like to climb onto the most random buildings and jump off it on a skateboard. Let's make it easier and more fun. It still has all the same skate mechanics from what I've seen as well. They put a one up after this, where if you remember on Skate 3, the little circle at the bottom, and depending where you did the thumbstick, they seem to have kept that the same. I'm very excited for this. I wish there was a release date, but
I'm surprised there was no sort of indication on it. There is a playtest later this year. I
think this is because they've been very much, we're going to show this in development. This is them just being like, look, we're a bit closer now to a beta for you guys.
Yeah,
which
the
I'm
note
okay
on
with.
the note on the trailer creased me. Bottom right, it said like pre-alpha gameplay, just to put it out there that this is not anywhere near final.
Did you spot in the little like montage trailer the guy doing the roly poly down the steps?
No, I don't.
Do you
believe
remember
so.
in Skate 3 if you went in ragdoll mode, you could do the roll
you
and keep
just
like
forward,
bouncing
forward,
and keep
forward.
rolling forward?
Yeah.
They've kept that in by the looks of it.
That's
So, yeah.
class. Con, any thoughts on Skate? Did you play Skate 3 a lot?
I was more of a Tony Hawk kind of guy.
I mean, valid. I played.
I mean, it
both.
was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong. but
The thing was,
Skate fun.
around the time when I was interested in skating games was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
So like PS2 era.
Yeah, by the time Skate had come round, it wasn't my cup of tea at all. I did play a bit of Skate 3. I think at one point it was on Games with Gold.
Yeah, like a Game with Gold. Yeah.
Yeah, or my friend might have given me his disc for a bit, but it was never something I owned and played a lot of. No, but I am aware that people have been waiting for it for a long time, and it is cool that they've kind of done a very transparent development for it, where once they said it is happening, they've like given people semi-regular updates of this is what it's looking like, and yeah, it's taking a while, but we want to make it really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, fair enough. And then following this, there was one that intrigued a bunch of us because we like the game, not necessarily console. Valorant is coming to console. Did it have a date? I know there was playtests.
The playtest starts
coming
tomorrow.
up soon. Yeah.
Or yesterday if this goes out.
Okay.
I am very mixed. I think it was they always said they were going to do it for a while now. I think it can work better than CS did when they tried to do console, but I think a lot of console players will find it very slow paced.
Yeah.
So what they've already done a secret playtest with people like Nadeshot and creators, and some of the gameplay from that was used and has been shown about. And what they've said is the game is, although it is still Valorant, it's been completely rebuilt for consoles, which means it's not a port, which should mean it performs much better, which should make it a nicer experience to play. Instead of having to change how Valorant functions, they've added this new focus mode, which is like halfway between hipfire and ADS. There is a very, very small amount of aim assist, but hardly noticeable, apparently. I think the big selling point for it to me is that it's cross progression and cross skins, but not cross play. So if I create my Xbox account and I want to take my Xbox when I'm going away for a couple of weeks for whatever reason, and I want to play a bit of Valorant and I can still use my skins, I can. Even if PC will still be the main platform.
Yeah, because I think all three of us have our Valorant linked to our Xbox Game Pass and stuff anyway, don't we, already?
Exactly. And, I mean, depending on how they choose to do it, this version that's currently for Xbox and PlayStation could be made available as like a Steam Deck version or a Rogue Ally version.
True.
Which adds a lot of usefulness to this version of the game. But I do agree that console players, people who've only ever played console games, are going to find this very slow.
Yep.
It'll be interesting as well, considering every game Riot makes, they also are very competitive and esports focused with it. Obviously, Valorant on PC, from the get-go, they wanted to grow the esports side. It'll be interesting to see if console picks up and is popular. Do they then start a console VCT or just like a separate little console league? It
would have to go nuclear, I think.
I can't see it myself unless it literally like blows up.
Unless PlayStation and Xbox players collectively go, we've been waiting for a game like this forever. I don't think you're gonna see it.
I think it's cool regardless. Get a whole new audience who don't have PCs and thought that looks a cool game. They might watch it now. They got a chance to play it themselves.
Yeah, I think people have realised now that people who are going to buy PCs for games like Valorant and CS and games that are PC only, they've already got PCs or will already get a PC. The people who are on consoles just like having a console. They don't want a PC. So you've now got to find a way to get to them. The big shock to console players is going to be the microtransaction prices. They're not ready for Valorant skin prices.
Oh, I don't know, mate. Have you seen Call of Duty these days?
Oh, don't worry, League still beats them all.
Right, following Valorant, we had Slitterhead, which was a horror game by the Silent Hill devs that comes out later this year, November 8th, just after Halloween. Killer Bean, coming out summer 24. Horror, I know we had a good laugh talking about this one. It is literally in the name. It's a cartoon bean that looks like it's in a GTA mission, going around shooting people, throwing grenades.
It's like GTA meets Max Payne, but you are, like you say, a bean.
A bean, a literal bean.
Is it a sandbox game? Like, I know obviously it's a bit of a meme game.
I imagine.
Is there supposed to be a story to go
I think it'll be
alongside
like
it, or...
GTA style story where it's like open world, but there's a bit of a story mission.
It's a little bit linear.
Got you.
It'll be.
Yeah.
It looks balanced.
It'll be a fun one to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, could be a fun one for you to stream. Gone. I'll definitely be tuned into that one. Then we had Wonder Stop, which is a farming sim, but sort of with an eerie twist. One that I have on my radar.
Stanley Parable.
The next one, oh, sorry, God, did you have something to say there?
No, so what is it? It's just spooky farming.
So it was
a
like
spooky farming thing.
It was showing like tea shop thing, wasn't it? It was like a tea shop farm, and I was like, "Oh, I might send this to the girlfriend because it looks like a cozy little tea shop farm." And then it ends with like a PTSD moment, and it was like, "This is from the creators of Stanley Parable," and I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to be straightforward."
No, there's going to be a twist.
It's giving. What's the fairy tale of the two kids who go to the witch's house that's made of like cotton candy and stuff?
Oh,
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. Jack and Jill.
No, they went up the hill.
They went up the hill, yep.
Yeah.
No, interesting it looks.
Yeah, it could be wild.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't think it's my cup of tea. I think I'm a lot more boring than I like to think when it comes to it.
I don't want to talk about this next one. I'm sad.
Yeah,
all right, we're going to come straight to you. New World DLC, October 15th. I thought the gameplay and stuff that they showed did actually look quite good. It might have just been cinematics actually, but
they have. This actually might be one of the worst marketing jobs in gaming. I'm not even kidding. So, New World's been out now for, I want to say 2 years, maybe 3 nearly.
Checking my playtime now.
It's PC game, MMO. It's not got the biggest player base, but it has a very dedicated player base that still want to see it succeed and have put up with a lot of rough edges, should we say. A few months back, New World does regular dev blogs and Q&As, and they're very transparent about a lot of stuff, which is great. A lot of the player base, like the core player base, watch those for updates and to see what's coming. Months ago, they were like, we have a big announcement coming in June for you all. Then went radio silent for several months. Everyone's very excited. This trailer comes out. New World Eternum. PC players are like, what the fuck is this? Okay, let's watch the dev blog. The dev blog talks to the viewer, or the person watching the video, as if they've never played the game and realize that this is about console, and they've redone the whole game for console, and all it talks about is the console. And obviously the people that watch those dev blogs are the PC players who've just been told to wait several months for an announcement. So understandably all pissed off, because it just feels like they've gone, oh, we're making the game for console now, screw you guys.
Is it cross progression?
No. Well, so
oh, that's a good question actually.
So already worse than Valorant. Crazy.
Well, it's MMOs is tough, but like basically they did that. Understandably, everyone then went to Steam and it went to negative, like majority negative.
Recent reviews is overwhelmingly negative, and it's become mixed overall. I don't know what it was before though.
It went overwhelmingly negative. Then they had to put out a tweet and be like, we have an announcement coming for you in a couple of days, PC. Like, they realized they fucked up. People that like put news about it pieced together through like multiple different articles of what they've reported on this update, have found like, oh, there is stuff coming for PC. They just had to fucking grab it from like 10 different sources and figure out what they're getting. Essentially, they'd reworked all the starter story stuff. They've reworked some of like how you first pick your character and stuff to make it for console and make it a smoother, basically polished it and then giving it to console. PC's getting all that, and there is cross-play. But if you want to play cross-play as a PC player, it's only on new starter worlds, which means you have to start a new character
Start all over again.
Which I get, it's an MMO. You can't really just have the console people getting chucked in with all the people that are max.
Oh yeah,
like, it makes sense.
I didn't think about
that. It's just like obviously the PC community is just frustrated because then we did get a dev blog and they were like, oh yeah, there'll be an announcement for PC in October. So now they've got to wait another like 4 months. So
I won't lie, I didn't even know the game was still being supported.
Yeah.
I've just checked my Steam. Last played October 2021.
I never played it.
Well, I'm looking at playtime now. Hori has 490 hours of new
That's
worlds
me. Yeah.
on Steam.
I want to say half of that was cutting down trees.
Yeah, I remember your logging phase. Yeah,
I hit max level logging so fucking fast in that game. That was my personal achievement.
He says so fast. It took 200 hours.
I mean, that was like level 200 logging or something, which, yeah, it was a lot. But they brought a DLC out like a few months back, which was like their first paid expansion. Apparently it was quite good. It's just now they've just pissed off their main player base, which is, yeah.
Well, October 15th, do you reckon you'll be there, Hori?
Yes.
I don't know if I will, because PC only get access to it if they've bought the expansion.
Okay.
So I'd have to buy the expansion, which, yeah, it's a bit of a mess.
I would love for an MMO to grab me so that I can no life one, but literally no MMO has ever been able to hold my attention.
Yeah, I checked. I only had 40 hours, so I must have.
I think you did like the first week because it was lockdown.
Yeah, there was like the first 2 weeks. It was during COVID. There was lots, and we got a server of group of us lot. And we was all playing it.
Tom and
Chris and and then we started playing, and then I think another game came out, and off I went. That's just what it was. Speaking of games that have been and gone, Power World is getting a huge DLC. Is it going to be enough to bring us back, or has that been and gone?
I am tempted, I have to say, because it's a new island.
I would very much have to look at the content.
It's new island, second
everything,
some new pals, new variations of pals. So essentially, again, like second gen, or the start of second gen. A new boss, a new raid, a new like oil rig stronghold location that you can go and fight at.
So here's my thing with Power World. It's a solid game. I'm not slandering the game at all. It was a fad game when it came out. It is better quality than a fad game is, but it was a fad game. And for me and the way I play games, it'd be the kind of game that would sit in like a Minecraft category of I will only ever play it when I get that itch. And then any new stuff that's come out since I last played, I will just experience when I'm ready. It's the exact same thing. The problem is, the next time I get the itch for a game like that, am I going to go to Power World or am I going to go to Minecraft? Chances are I'm going to go to Minecraft.
See, I feel like I get a very specific Minecraft itch. I think I could get the itch to play Power World again, whether it's when this DLC comes out or there's like a second one's come out. I don't know. But that's kind of how the dev spoke out and said he expects people to play it. Like,
yeah.
When someone questioned him, like, "Oh, all your player base is dropping off," he's like, "Yeah, as long as like if people have had fun and they want to wait and come back when there's more content again, that's fine."
There was not limited, but there was relatively limited content when the first game came out. They were the game first.
I don't
came
think
out.
Anyone,
ran
let alone
through
the devs, expected it to be so big. That's why, I suppose.
This is the weird thing with focusing on concurrent players, which a lot of people do. There'll be a story game that comes out that people want to hate, and then they'll be like, "Oh, look, 2 weeks later, and half your player base goes like, yeah, they finished the game. They've completed it and they've moved on with their life. I don't know what you expect. It is what it is. I will no doubt some point go back and play Power World again. Maybe it'll be after the DLC. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be after the DLC after this one. Who knows? But it's not enough to make me go, oh, I have to check that out day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you say, survival games to me. I sort of binge it for a week or two, and then I get bored and come back to it at a later date. I personally don't think I will be jumping back, even if you do it. Like, do you want to hop on? I'll probably be like, I'm not sure. And then to end Summer Games Fest night one, we had a extended trailer for Phantom Blade Zero, which I'm very much looking forward to. However, I wasn't happy, and this might just sound selfish. Ending one of the biggest nights in gaming without a date was just very surprising to me. There's play tests in different countries throughout the rest of the year. And to me, just ending such a big showcase with a game that we've already seen and not given a date, it's just a bit... which is a shame, because the game looks fantastic, and every time it's been shown at a showcase, I'm looking forward to it. It's just no date at such a big event. It just surprised me, to be honest. Yeah. So overall grading for this showcase,
I thought it was very solid.
Yeah, I'm wavering between 6.5 and a 7.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you.
Some of the games did speak to me, and I do want to play. A lot of the stuff looks cool for people in certain niches, like Civ 7 was obviously a huge pop. It's just dates. Phantom Blade not getting a date. Skate showing that trailer and not giving a date. It was just, there wasn't anything that like jumped out at me.
Also, was there anything new?
Yeah, a lot of the Civ 7, Acolyte DLC, like none of that was rumored to my best knowledge. Don't get me on that.
Lego was rumored. There was rumors about a year ago that we were getting a new Quidditch game, but no one knew how true that was, so I won't count that.
Yeah, that was
Star Wars Outlaws. We already knew was coming.
Yep.
Power Rangers might have been leaked. We wouldn't know. We're not plugged in.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that. The people that I watched, that was a pop for them, so I don't think that had been leaked, which is cool.
Mecha Break was known that it was in development, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was known of, but not really much about.
Alan Wake DLC, we didn't know. Skate, everyone knows. Valorant, again, has been rumored for ages it was coming to console. I don't know about Slitterhead.
Slitterhead and Killer Bean were both new. Not sure about Wonderstop.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? There's no, and don't get me wrong, I get it's because it's part of the weekend and we've got some big surprises coming on later. But as part of this showcase, there's nothing really that causes the internet to go what? And it's just, that's always what I want. And I know it's unrealistic to expect that at every showcase, but it always hurts it when there isn't one. Yeah, I'd be going like a firm 6.
Was it? I'm probably like 7, 8, because there's quite a few of those that I'm actually excited for, and dates don't bother me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Was it Summer Game Fest where there was that koala break out of prison one, or was that Xbox?
Xbox, I believe.
I can't remember what it was called.
I can't remember what it's called. I'm looking here. I don't think I've got it in my notes. It was like one of the early ones shown.
Yeah, because it's like a party group get out of prison, and it looked chaotic and fun.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't actually think if that was Xbox or Summer Games. We'll have to find that as we're moving on. Yeah,
for sure.
Because we did have a redemption. The Xbox showcase, I'm going to put in this out there, was the best showcase we've had since the launch PlayStation showcase of 2020 when the PS5 got announced.
Ooh.
Yep, I'll give my overall score
very
at the end,
stacked,
good
I will
Lord.
say.
Yeah.
Hori, I know we were live reacting to it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Just
when I went back and watched,
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Who was watching it? Con, were you there?
I wasn't watching
it. Was me and West.
I was reacting to everything you and West.
It was me and West, and it was just... Oh, we'll get into it. We kicked off Doom the Dark Ages, which got a 2025 slate, no specific date. Looked very Doom.
Yeah, it looked very Doom for a Doom
Very
trailer.
Doom. I don't know what else you could put
I
into
don't
that,
know how you could make Doom more Doom, but they did it, so...
More red.
more red, more rock.
The shotgun that uses skulls as ammo is just a design choice that is very, very good.
We then had a State of Decay 3 trailer, which I don't believe had been leaked. I hadn't
Yeah.
I don't think
heard
so.
Okay,
anything about
am I
it.
crazy or did State of Decay not come out like 6 months ago? State of Decay
No.
2. Like, how old is that game now? It doesn't feel that
I'm
old.
looking now,
Oh, it's
2018.
2018. So it's
Yeah.
like
6 years old, yeah.
that's crazy. Has that game got lots of like DLCs and stuff while it's been out, or like expansions? Because I feel like this
Not
game never went
sure.
away. I'm sure the people of this. I'm sure State of Decay fans are very excited. Then
Yeah, I think so.
I've not actually played. I played a bit of the second one because it was on
Game Pass.
something like that. Yeah. I'm always about any sort of zombie type survival apocalypse games. I thought this looked great. I'll definitely be checking it out. And to note, most of these games are day one Game Pass. I'm pretty sure all of them, in fact.
I think so.
Not all of them. I think.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
think
like a
they
couple
said
of the
something like
PC ones.
80% off.
Yeah. So all of these you can check out. Well, I'd say all. Most of them you can check out day one with Game Pass. So this one, I will be there. One not for me, but got a huge pop with a lot of Twitter that I follow. Dragon Age Veilguard comes out later this year. Hori, you strike me as someone who might have played Dragon Age.
I haven't, but people I follow
Yep.
weren't. I don't know. I get the vibe that people aren't very impressed or excited with it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Because-
saw the opposite.
Likewise.
So I think a lot of hardcore Dragon Age fans think they've kind of messed with the formula and
Oh, okay, so
doesn't
what I was
seem as
seeing,
good.
what I was seeing was something that we've experienced in kind of like Star Wars and Marvel recently, where it was like people are complaining that gay people exist and they don't understand the source material. It was what I was seeing.
So mine's more like, I think with the visuals and some of the
Just because they changed the art style a bit.
Yeah, and then apparently like the direction of the story they're taking it. Apparently the last Dragon Age ended in a really good place story wise to like was getting interesting, and now it seems like the story is going away from that, and people are a bit disappointed there.
Well, that was 10 years ago. I reckon they just need to get
Yeah.
a grip, don't they?
Yeah.
But this is what happens though when you've got like a hardcore fan base for a game
Yeah.
that's been gone for ages, comes back and it's very different. You can
I can imagine
alienate a
Dragon
bunch.
Age. Dragon Age is the sort of franchise that has like a cult following,
Mm,
and if they don't get what they want, they'll get angry.
yeah, so-
Absolutely. I have downloaded Dragon Age Inquisition
that
more
was the
times
last
than I care to count. When I'm like, oh, there's nothing common to play at the minute. Let me download that, and then like I end up getting sucked into like FIFA or Minecraft or something, and then 6 months later I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not playing that, and I uninstall it again. Fucking
I mean, that's
stupid.
fair
Maybe I will actually try this one. Who knows?
This could be the one. It might not just sit on your Xbox waiting. This one, however, you will not
We
be
will be
waiting
there.
for.
We
You
will be there.
We had a quite a long, in-depth, I'd say, DLC trailer for Starfield. Con thoughts?
I'm very excited for this. I believe one of the first things I said when I finished the main story was, Josh, when's that DLC coming? Do we have any confirmation if they're working on a DLC? Back when the game came out in September. So, I fucking love this game. I've loved Starfield. It's really interesting because I've admitted so many times on this podcast that I am such a I am very, what have you done for me lately? New stuff, always better stuff. So when I finished playing it and I forgot about it a little bit, I was like, oh, maybe I just got swept up in the moment. And then I went back to play it a couple of months ago now, and again recently. And I was like, oh no, this game did absolutely fuck. I love it. It's not everyone's cup of tea for sure, but I feel like everyone has a Bethesda game they like. Like Hori, I know, is a Skyrim guy. There's lots of Fallout people. I played a bit of Fallout 4 and I very much enjoyed it. Say a bit, I think I had 400 hours in Fallout 4, but still. Futuristic Starfield is my kind of time area that I really enjoy. So having my Bethesda, having a Bethesda game in that time period for me is muy bien. So I'm very, very excited for this DLC. I will be there. I will play the ever loving fuck out of it. The Varoons are like really, really interesting, and they don't get touched on much in the main story. So getting a bit more from them is going to be really cool, I think.
Yep, love to see it. And another one that we've sort of been discussing recently, following the success of the show, Fallout 76 will be getting added content this year and next year.
Yeah, that show has done so much for Fallout 76.
Yeah, I think they had planned stuff coming anyway, but once the show was obviously in the works, they've obviously coincided it all to be similar time.
I think the difference is now there's people who give a fuck.
Yeah, true. They were going to bring this out anyway, and the show popping off like it did has just made it more even more worth to bring this DLC out.
Absolutely. This game, when this game came out, all I remember seeing is Fallout fans going, "This is the worst game Bethesda have ever made. I hope they fold." And now it's like 7 out of 10 rated by most people. All these people who come from the Fallout show are playing it, they're like, "This is great." And a lot of the Fallout fans who hadn't left 76 because they were such diehard Fallout fans were just happy that people wanted to play their game.
They're like, "Oh my god, there's people in our game."
Yeah, like we've seen so many times that like people who support a game that's been quite small are like really gatekeepy. And then other people are like, "Hi, can I play?" And they're like, "Water's fine, come on in." It was really, really funny. And yeah, now this wouldn't have been part of a showcase before the show came out. The show has made this big enough news that they're like, "Let's include it."
It would have been like a patch notes on Twitter type job.
Absolutely. So funny.
Yeah, following this, one that's still annoying me now. Expedition 33. We got a fairly long trailer. Beautiful fantasy RPG.
It does look
amazing.
Gorgeous.
It's narrated by Ben Starr, who voices Clive on Final Fantasy 16. A voice actor that I love. And then we get to the in-game combat at the end, and it's turn-based. And if you know me, I hate turn-based games, apart from Pokemon. And I was gutted because the game looks so good. So good.
So I am right there with you. I'm not a turn-based lover. Far from it. Having seen the actual gameplay, trailer that has bits of gameplay in it, the game is so pretty that I am tempted. Bearing in mind, I believe it is coming on Game Pass. Yeah, Day One Game Pass.
Yep.
I'm probably going to give it a go anyway, because while I don't enjoy turn-based, I got over turn-based for Baldur's Gate 3. And it has definitely made me when a game... Yeah, no, but now when a game looks more appealing to me and is turn-based, I do just find myself going, you've earned yourself an opportunity. It might have to cross a ridiculously high bar because of Baldur's Gate 3, but it's at least found a way to give itself a chance.
I feel like it's one you got to try. I know for me, it won't do it at all. I've tried Persona, the Final Fantasy turn-based combat. It's just not for me. I can't do it, but maybe it could be for you. I'll have to wait and see. I feel like we get this every couple of years. World of Warcraft is getting a new DLC / expansion, whatever they call it, August expansion. So WoW fans
I think the WoW fans are pretty excited because from what I understand, this is actually like almost coming. Like they've actually starting to pull to the end of a story that WoW has been writing this whole time.
Okay,
like it's coming to a culmination. So I think the WoW fans are seemingly excited about this. So good for them.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
So this is going to be the first part of a trilogy of expansions to wrap up the story.
Okay. End of World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft 2?
Never. Yeah. I imagine.
I've never played World of Warcraft, and I probably never will unless a free subscription gets included in Game Pass.
I'm still surprised that hasn't happened.
I have played
They make so much money from World of Warcraft alone. It's not worth it for them.
I also played a bunch of World of Warcraft Classic when it came. They launched that. I too probably will not go back to this unless they do something with Game Pass.
It's not cheap, is it?
Well, no, it's like I don't know. I think I want to guess.
It's £10 a month.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's about £10 a month, but then you've got to buy expansions every time they come out.
You could use that money to buy Game Pass.
Yeah, like for an extra £3 a month, I get Game Pass Unlimited, which allows me to use my Xbox to just play story games and have all my FPSs on my PC. I
mean, they could do like a slightly more expensive Game Pass that is specific for getting a WoW subscription included.
If they were to add a Game Pass plus WoW subscription for an extra £5 a month, they would make money on that.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Metal
That's a
Gear
bit-
Solid?
Yeah. So this one, like, people know about it. It's been shown before. This was a new trailer. Still hasn't got a date, but I know everyone's regardless. I think like Metal Gear is such a big game. Even if you don't get a date, you just get new trailers and gameplay. Everyone just pops regardless, don't they? It's just one of those.
Is it a remake?
Isn't it?
I'm not a Metal Gear Solid guy.
Yeah, I don't know the story well enough. I'm not sure if this is
yeah.
like young Snake.
Based on what I'm seeing, it looks like it might be a remake of the third game, which came out in 2004.
Oh, maybe.
That
So-
sounds about right.
Because I know I saw lots of people comparing scenes from an old Metal Gear Solid game to scenes from this trailer. I didn't know if that was just like, an homage thing or if it was a straight up remake. But these are the kind of games that should get remakes, games that are 20 years old, not a certain company remaking a game that's like 5 years old and then doing a remaster of it.
Shout out Last of Us. Come on. What a game. Speaking of remakes, Perfect Dark. So this trailer started playing, and I was very intrigued. Me and Wes were talking about it at the time. Like, what's going on here? Turns out, after 24 years, they're remaking Perfect Dark. I don't know. I haven't played the original. I know it's got a huge following. I don't know how in line / similar it is to the original.
I never played it. When I looked up screenshots,
You're the only one who's old enough to remember
it.
I did look up because I couldn't remember what the original, and I do recognize like screenshots of it. I don't think I ever played it, but must have maybe seen video or something on it or seen someone playing it.
A lot of the podcasters I listen to mention it all the time, so it must be a big game, and we're just missing out. But we won't be when it comes out.
Us. I think it's on Game Pass.
It came out in 2000. I was free, so
I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass. So, like, what I might do is download it on my Xbox, because Xbox can do, backwards compatibility with virtualization stuff, so I can play 360 games.
It's like a PlayStation. I played.
PC can do it. It's called an emulator.
Jack and Dexter.
So, I mean, maybe I'll go back and try it out, see if it's any good before the new one comes out. Decide if I'm going to play a new game based on a 20-year-old prequel.
How well has that aged? I wonder.
Probably not very.
One that I know didn't age well for Hori. We have got Diablo 4 DLC coming out in October. Hori, I just want a quick your summary because it makes me laugh every time of Diablo. You've got 30 seconds.
It's just they just milk it for money. They just milk. They just ruined a franchise with microtransactions.
You don't need the full 30 seconds for that one, do you?
No.
It's not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last time.
Yeah, I feel like one of the content creators I watch, Greg Merrily, loves Diablo. He was hyped for this. So I suppose if you're into it and you're willing to pay, you'll enjoy it.
There's people that are willing to grind to try and avoid having to spend as much on microtransactions. It's just the model they made. It's like,
rightly or wrongly, one day I want to be rich enough that 1 year I can go nuts on FIFA Ultimate Team and just spend money like it doesn't matter. Just 1 year I want to experience it.
We are boycotting EA. We are not getting into microtransactions. But a big one for us, we all popped on this one. Lionhead teased us, gave us a Fable trailer.
So good.
I know we was all sort of hoping this would come up. It was at last year's Xbox Showcase.
Yeah, didn't they do
summer.
a title card or something?
We got a little bit of a trailer. We got Rich Diawoody's face, didn't we?
Yeah, but he was like a big giant or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got just a title card and it was fucking lit.
And then we had this one, which we haven't got a specific date. We got a slate of 2025, but the trailer just looked amazing.
I want it. I want it now.
I mean,
we will be
played
there.
the shit out of Fable 2, so...
I was a Fable 3 guy, and the hours I put into that, I've been waiting so long for this, and I just can't wait. Again, we're going to be waiting until next year. We're going to be feasting next year. GTA and Fable.
It is crazy the amount of...
10 all over again.
It is crazy the amount of games that were on a regular release cadence for so long that literally just disappeared because games evolved into that next step of, oh, you can't pump out a game that's good in 2 years anymore. So all these franchises have disappeared for 10, 15 years, and now they're all back like, we are here. We hope to save gaming.
Remember those franchises you played as a kid? Now we're cashing in with your adult money.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. For
Are
that
you
one.
excited for Pong 2, Hori?
Yes, can't wait.
That's tickled me way more than it should have done, for God's sake.
I'm
One that
glad
doesn't
someone hits
tickle
with laugh my old jokes.
One that doesn't tickle my fancy at all is Fragpunk. It's
Well, we
just
don't have
another
enough hero shooters.
Yeah, another hero shooter.
Hero shooter is the new zombie survival.
So
yeah,
this is what I don't understand. For a long time, these games that like refused to go away made sense. Like when BR took over, it's because we had 3 BRs that went bigger than the last one with popularity. Not they were expected to be big. But hero shooters haven't been doing well. So I don't understand why everyone's making. It's not like Overwatch 2 was a massive success, and then another game came out that was an even bigger success. Overwatch 2 was a disaster.
Yeah, but you've got to look at it as like when all these started development. It was obviously like there was a few that were picking up. Like I guess Apex can be classed as a bit of a hero shooter. Obviously Overwatch 1 did all right. Like it's you've got to look back at when there was like a bit of a new thing and everyone's like, oh, these are really fun games. So then all these studios are like, oh shit, we need to make a hero shooter. It's taken them like 5 years, and then everyone's like, we're sick of hero shooters now.
We've had enough. We've got extra file at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's a first-person shooter that's free to play. We are going to give it a go.
Yeah,
we know we will. I'm not saying I'm excited for it, but we will all probably as it gets
depends
closer.
what comes out around it.
Yeah, but there is a very high
point.
chance that we all download it and give it a go for a week or so and
Not
see
if
what
Marvel
we think.
Rivals is going on.
If Marvel
This is
Rivals
true.
ends up being good, I need it. I need it more than I need oxygen.
Well, Fragpunk's slated for 2025. I mean, 2025 is going to be a weird one because no one's going to. They're all just saying 2025 because I don't think anyone wants to cement a date until GTA has given a release date.
They're all coming out January 1st,
They're going to want to stay the fuck away from GTA, and rightly so.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm not playing another game.
I want some studio to have the balls to, once GTA releases their date, to just release on the exact same day.
Yeah, that's a good way to foreclose on your own house.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure Zelda, I can't remember what one, came out on the same day as a Horizon, and Horizon didn't do anywhere near as well. But everyone's just going to be staying the fuck away from GTA.
Yeah, no. Why would you try and compete?
So until Rockstar put a date out, I can't see us getting many confirmed dates for 2025.
The day of COD.
There is just no way in a million years.
That is the only thing that would hurt COD day one player base. That is the only thing. Which is hilarious. But yeah, we will be there for GTA 6.
We will indeed. One I hope does stay away from GTA is Mixtape. Coming out in 2025. So this is a like story narrative type game from the same devs who made Artful Escape, which I have played on PC and PlayStation. Beautiful game.
This is the one where it's like
it just looks fantastic.
80s, 90s soundtrack.
Yeah. Just story narrative game. If you're into that type of thing, like Life is Strange,
I think all your classic coming of age films, Connor,
literally
but as a game.
like a teen story.
Because them films are like the only films that make me feel emotions.
Yeah, so it's that with like a 90s and 80s soundtrack, like the films, but as a game.
Is this day one on Game Pass?
Probably.
Yep, I believe so. It looks fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to it.
We may be there.
Skating, romance, and teen drama. What more could you want? And
I'm
speaking of narrative games, my biggest pop of the night. When I tell you, I jumped in my bed. We had Life is Strange double exposure. This was not leaks. I would have known about it 100%. October. I can't remember if it's got a specific date in October. Con, if you fancy checking.
I can do.
Max Caulfield is coming back. She is the main protagonist from the first game. And she's in the second, even though it's a bit of a spin-off from the first game. I can't wait. Any game that makes me, like Con was saying, any game that gets me in the feels, makes me cry like the first one did. I cannot wait. Life is Strange is one of my favorite franchises. I just can't wait. There's not much more to say about it, really.
It is slated for release on October 29th, 2024.
October 29th. That's my friend's birthday, but I will not be at his. I will be at home playing this game. Sorry, mate. I will not be there.
He'll have other birthdays. This game won't release again.
Exactly. I can't be seeing spoilers for that. I will literally cry myself to sleep.
Right, I have 4 months to get a pre-edition of this game and spoil it for Josh and break NDAs.
I would literally never speak to you ever again.
I'm going to find fake spoilers to piss Josh off, and then when they don't happen, he'll be like, oh my god, he didn't spoil it.
You're going to learn how to make Unreal and just going to remake the game myself.
Just to troll Josh.
But when that got shown, I was already super high on the showcase. I was like, how can this get any better? Bang! Drop a surprise game from one of your favourite franchises. I mean, Xbox were just on a mad one. And then it sort of slowed a little bit. There was an extended Indiana Jones trailer, which still hasn't got a date.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that game. I'm a massive Indiana Jones sucker. I love it so much.
I'm looking forward to this game. I just feel like this is nothing to do with the gameplay. I think the gameplay looks cool. The pacing of the showcase, they were thick and fast with all the games. I feel like this trailer went on for a little bit too long.
It's because they paid them more money to have a longer slot.
It just completely, the whole pace and vibe of the showcase slowed down and changed. I thought it was a little bit strange, but obviously it's a huge IP. They want to show it off.
They'll have paid for that.
And then huge segment and no date. Is that
why
they
that's
gave
just
a bigger
really
segment,
weird.
Maybe? Who knows? Speaking of no dates, Avowed came out again. We got more information with another trailer. Still no date. I will be there.
That is one I'm excited for. That is one I am excited for. It looks very cool.
It should, in quotations, be great. When we're gonna get it is something that I think everyone's still waiting for. We had Stalker 2. Yeah, very much so. Stalker 2. I've not played the first one, which, considering I like that type of game.
2 is... I swear Stalker 2 is already out. I feel like this is a DLC or
let me look now. So Stalker, the original, came out in 2007.
Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl comes out on the 5th September.
Yeah, that's the new one. The last one that came out was 2009. So
maybe
it sounds like you're waffling.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Are you getting it confused with Metro?
Maybe, because I was also getting the trailer confused with Metro, so...
Yeah. This one is sort of started, and it looked a little bit Call of Duty, and then there was sort of like zombies. And I like this type of game, so I'm surprised I haven't played the first one. I thought this looked great.
Yeah,
personally.
It was Ukraine, and it was like weird, like clearly a Fallout bunker, and I was like, oh, this might be a new Metro, and then I was like, wait, no, this isn't quite the right gameplay for Metro.
Yep.
They're similar games, but the Stalker games are well loved. Or the Stalker game.
Yeah,
I think there's an old Stalker game, maybe, is what I'm confusing. Well, I think there's two.
But September, like Con was saying, for that one. So Game Pass day one, we will be there. We had a quick break from games, consoles. Con, I believe you're the only one. Con, I believe you're the only one that actually has a Xbox. Me and Hori both just play PC games.
I mean, I have two Xboxes. They're just in boxes under my bed.
I'm talking new gen. I'm talking new gen. But they've announced a Series S and X in white, which I think looks.
It's digital only, isn't it?
So the Xbox Series X originally came like the one I've got, just black, and the Series S originally came just white. They've now got inverse colors for both of them.
Okay.
So there's a white Series X and a black Series S. But there's also the 2 terabyte Series X, which comes with like a star.
Oh, the Galaxy, that looks
which is actually pretty nice looking. And 2 terabytes now is actually bordering on needed if you're like a pretty hardcore
Well, yeah,
gamer who only has a
if you're
console.
gonna get Black Ops 6, you
Black
definitely.
Ops 6.
No, don't fall for the bait. I'm so sick of seeing that bullshit tweet.
Yeah, my mate fell for it as well. He put it in our group chat. I was like, no, read the thread. Come on.
Every fucking time.
To end, well, I say end the show. Pretty sure, was it Phil that came out and announced it, or was it Sarah Bond? They were like, we have one last thing.
There's
Gears
always
of War.
one last thing.
Yeah, Gears of War. You just see Marcus
G-Day.
getting yeeted across the floor by some big ghoul,
Marcus.
young Marcus, not just any Marcus. I'm not a massive Gears of War fan. I don't know if you want to pitch in and give an input on this one.
I didn't play some of the later ones. I played the first couple, and I did enjoy it, and I do enjoy the Gears of War world. This looks cool. I'm excited for them to go to like a younger, earlier day.
Very much so. For the earlier ones, it was just at the time where it felt like game developers could do no wrong. There was nowhere near as much scrutiny over what was released, which meant stuff came thicker and faster. Then they slowed down. The last one did quite well, but still got loads of hate, which is actually a weird thing. I played it. I don't think I finished it because, as we know, I never finish a story game. I am the 80% story completion merchant.
You would not be able to access the Elden Ring DLC.
No, I would not. I will probably do
That's
the
'cause you
exact
couldn't
same
get
thing with
past
this.
the first boss.
Yeah. I will download this on day one. I will get 80% of the way through the story, and then a different, shinier thing will distract me.
I mean, it's not got a date yet, so you got a while to.
Yeah.
It could be 2026 for all we know.
Put it this way, I've seen Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I've downloaded the last 3 Assassin's Creed games to my Xbox to try and play them before it comes out. Guess what? I've done one fucking 4-hour session of Origins, and then X-Defy came out, and I've been distracted ever since.
As memory recalls, you did mention you were starting Assassin's Creed on last month's episode.
Yeah. I've literally streamed it once for about 4 hours.
Everyone has the same 24 hours.
Yeah. I am the
work.
worst. I love story games.
Bang.
I'm just going to turn it into a weird quirk where I just love story games so much and I want them to end, so I can't finish them.
Oh, I see.
And there's a game called Life is Strange. Play that before the new one comes out. But after Gears of War, that was sort of the main Xbox showcase. And then, as we knew coming into the show that there was going to be a 20-25 minute Black Ops 6 breakdown, we saw lots of new game mechanics, gameplay itself. We got a great story trailer. Yeah, they just sort of gave us everything. Old school prestige systems coming back, which I mean everyone's been crying out for.
Yeah, round-based zombies is back.
We cannot fall victim to Call of Duty marketing. I don't care that it's a Treyarch game and we trust Treyarch. We have fallen victim to Call of Duty marketing too many times. The only good news is, if we fall victim to it this time, it's not going to cost us an additional penny.
But it's
on Game Pass. Let's fucking go.
That
no more spending 70 quid on a game to realise it's fucking garbage and you hate it.
This is why you buy games on disc and then trade them in. But no, so as someone who skipped Vanguard, played the next COD, which was last year, and skipped the current COD, I haven't had an itch for COD at all. I don't know about you guys. I am very much looking forward to the new game.
I haven't played a COD properly probably since we were all doing Cold War. Because I just got sick of it again.
None of us bought Vanguard other than West. So we didn't play that, and then you didn't pick up MW2 or MW3. No. Yeah. So... I have 300 hours in MW3, but I've not played it since Christmas.
This is the first COD since like Cold War where I'm like, oh,
yeah, it's
interesting that it's Treyarch again.
Yeah.
We might just be Black Ops gamers, boys. To be honest.
Very much so. Yeah. But yeah, after that,
I mean, stacked showcase.
It's a 9 out of 10.
For me, it's a 10 because bearing in mind, we just covered the games there that spoke to the general. There was a lot more games in. So for me, it's a 10 out of 10. We got loads of games sort of to cater to every audience. We got new games. We got dates. We got franchises coming back. We got new story trailers. I don't know how you could improve on that. Apart from
dates.
A
Fable getting
new
a bang
Halo
on date.
game.
No, it's
No one
dates.
wants that.
They've all just gone. They're coming at some point. Only 2 games got a locked on guaranteed release date?
There was probably more that maybe we haven't discussed. I'm
Do you
pretty
know
sure.
the only I'm gonna say a 9. I think it would have been a 10 if Xbox had given us more details on GTA 6,
Yes.
or if they'd actually
You
done
sound like the YouTube chat.
or if they'd actually done like a new gen Xbox console or something, just out of nowhere.
Imagine, because there were some rumors going in that the new Xbox models wasn't going to be like new colorways. It was going to be a rumored handheld that they've apparently been working on.
There was rumors coming into the show that the handheld might be shown. Obviously, it wasn't, and we don't even know if it exists. But
I don't think it does.
There was a lot of speculation going into the show that it could be there.
I'm still waiting for my Xbox 720.
I'll never get over it not being a 720.
The sphere. I'm
Yeah,
waiting
the
for
sphere.
the
The sphere. The Xbox 720 was like a sphere and the disc goes in the top.
I don't see us ever getting an Xbox handheld for one reason. With PC Game Pass being the way it is, they're better off just working with like ROG Ally and Steam for the Steam Deck to just find a way to get PC Game Pass supported on their devices.
I see a higher chance of them going, hey, Steam Deck, can we put Game Pass on it?
Yeah, can we put a Game Pass on the Steam Deck and then to announce it will do like a green colorway?
Can we have the Xbox app on the Steam Deck? That would make more sense.
The Steam Deck at the minute doesn't use
Windows.
Microsoft.
Yeah, it uses
Windows,
Linux.
So you can get Game Pass, you just have to dual boot it.
Yeah.
So there is ways around it, but obviously it doesn't come.
But like an ROG Ally uses Windows, doesn't it? So that could probably run Game Pass.
Here's the PSP again. That's what we need.
Based.
I wouldn't say no to a PSP, as you both know. I do indeed have a Portal.
Oh, I forgot you got that fucking thing.
I know it's obviously not the same. This is a remote. This is a remote.
The handheld that only works in the house on Wi-Fi.
No, that's not true. I'm not gonna nibble. I'm not gonna nibble. But I love this. I understand why it's not big
ugly.
and
the pocket console that you need a trench coat for.
They've cut a controller in half and put like a 7-inch monitor in the middle of it. It's fucking hideous.
Jealousy is a horrid trait. But no, Xbox wouldn't make a remote device. It would just be an actual handheld.
Especially
I think it would do well.
So big on cloud gaming.
Handheld peaked at mini discs.
For sure. No, you're fucking spot
on.
But yeah, Xbox absolutely smashed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on to Monday. I believe a couple of you may have watched this one live.
Yeah, we did.
I watched the recap. This one was more of a expanding on what we already knew, getting gameplay and as opposed to big reveals. And
there was one very large reveal, I feel.
I mean, there was one that absolutely tickled my balls. But we're going to start off Star Wars Outlaws. 30th of August. We all knew it was coming. It was just a more deep dive into it, and I'm pretty sure all three of us are pretty excited for it.
I would say every time we've talked about it, I've been the least hyped because I'm very tentative when. I'm very anti Ubisoft because they've burnt me too many times over the years, and often their open world RPG games feel very empty, so I was very worried. I will say what they showed looked really fucking good.
It looks beautiful.
Has definitely raised things for me. So.
I am definitely excited for it. I will be there. What I did say, and I do stand by, is that recently there's been a tweet going around that's trending of someone who downloaded 100 mods for Starfield to make it a Star Wars game. Starfield with them 100 mods looks like a more enjoyable Star Wars game than this does.
No.
That's where I sit on it.
Starfield shit, pass it on.
It's so funny because when Starfield got announced, you two were more excited for it than me, and you guys convinced me to give it a chance. Because I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And
Yeah,
you
then
guys were like, nah, it's
Bethesda
going to be really
revealed
good. It's going to
details
be really
about
good.
it, and I was like, a
And then I'm
classic
the one who
bait.
actually played it. Did either of you even have? Did either of you
I
ever
tried
even
it.
play
I
it?
put a couple of hours in, and it's just not for me. I'm not a Bethesda. I don't like any Bethesda game.
Because
tried it,
I've
I wasn't there.
played a few like space-based RPG, I know from things that it was missing, I would be disappointed. So but this looks good. Outlaws, I'm excited. I'm more excited than I was. I'm still
It's
very
good.
careful
Skeptical.
because skeptical is the right word. I will say, if we're going to be on Tatooine, I need to be able to do pod racing.
Oh mate, well there was pods shown.
Well, there's speed bikes and stuff, so it's like, give me the ability to have a pod and do pod racing. Like, all
Yeah, I
the
think that's
mechanics are there.
I think that's fair.
So
Let me race.
I will hope. That will sell the
have to wait and
game
see.
for me, if that does get announced.
See one glimpse of that you're in.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge reveal for like the last showcase before the game launches. Just be
I
like,
do
oh,
think
and there
we'll
will be
get
pod
one more.
racing.
We've still got
Yeah.
over 2 months till launch. I do think we might see one more, even if it's just
Probably.
like a shadow drop on Twitter, a tweet.
Mm.
But another one to look forward
Speaking
to.
of shadows.
Speaking of RPG, big RPG Ubisoft games, sorry. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Obviously, we knew it was coming. We knew the date, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
We just got another deep dive into the gameplay, and it looks beautiful again.
It looks class. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
There's a lot of cool mechanics they've added in. I mean, everyone for the longest time since like Brotherhood have been wanting a Japanese themed, like samurai themed one. So
And then Ghost came out, and everyone was like, "Okay, we need this in Assassin's Creed now."
proper one.
Yeah.
So
Some of the combat looked very Ghost of Tsushima. Whether it will be, because that was very punishing, very sort of parry. Obviously, Assassin's Creed is never normally that.
no,
I'm intrigued to see how the
quick time
yeah.
parrying. It'll be similar, I think, to normal systems that we're now used to Assassin's Creed, with
I
this like
think
added weather system that's going to add things to it.
I think the idea is you've got the ninja character, who is the more traditional Assassin's Creed character, and then they're trying to expand slightly by having the samurai who isn't focused on stealth. I think it will very much use the same combat systems we're used to, but just add a bit more to them. I think what they did in that was use a lot of camera tricks and gameplay tricks to make it look Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think it'll be anywhere near as punishing as Ghost of Tsushima.
No, definitely not. It's just not that type of game. I'm very much. I like the whole dual protagonist thing. Different play styles. Obviously, I've mentioned it before. The last Assassin's Creed Mirage was a much shorter experience, where this is going to be like a full-fledged Assassin's Creed. So, I've pre-ordered it. I will be there day one with my steelbook. Very much looking forward to it. And then we had a Prince of Persia breakdown. They showed a few different things actually. Just started off Lost Crown DLC coming September, I believe. Looks very good. Then they showed some of their 2D
indie developed, like
2D, which looks pretty cool.
It does.
Metroidvania-esque.
We said when we were
experience.
watching it live that we really liked the art style of that, and we were glad that they were doing something with the Prince of Persia IP again instead of letting it rot, because they haven't done anything really good with it since Sands of Time back on the 360.
Oh, speaking of,
well, this is the thing. We were watching it live, and I was like, oh. If only they were going to do a Sands of Time remake when they said we've got something else. And
I shit you not, he said that.
And then it finishes the indie one, and then it shows another Prince of Persia thing, and it's like a cinematic screen, and we were like, no, this isn't.
No way, it can't be.
And then
So,
was.
We lost our mind in the call.
So Sands of Time
will be there.
remake has been slated for 2026, which I believe is one of the only games that has been given a window of 2026 that we sort of know about.
Yes.
So it's a weird one because obviously it was supposed to be remastered and dropped in like 2021. Never happened. And then we just didn't hear anything.
Yeah,
and now they're
it
back.
got dropped when they realised they couldn't remaster it because it was so old. And everyone was like, oh, well, that's that dead in the water now. And now instead they've gone, no, we decided we're going to do it properly and remake it.
There are a lot of people that want it. So I played it on like PC back in. I was like an absolute offspring.
I think I actually played it on PSP.
I had the disc for the 360.
I had it on PC and I loved it. I've been waiting for it for ages. My mate, obviously, I wasn't watching it at the time. My mate texted me saying, "You're going to be buzzy at something that they've just announced," and I was so intrigued as to what it could be. Watched the showcase the following morning, and I popped while working. I very much, but then we got a 2-year wait. So
I mean, we've got enough
Always the
next
way.
year to keep us busy. So
you're not wrong there.
This is what happens with exciting games, though. Every time there's an exciting game announced, it's always announced so far in advance because it's an exciting game that you do have to wait for years for it.
Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, mate, you're gonna get
It's
that.
never coming. It's never coming.
3074 or something. You're just
I'll
gonna
be there.
Skeleton horizontal rise,
freeze,
rises
waiting
from
for the day. And then for the major games that sort of would interest us from the showcase, XDefiant.
Season 1.
We've been playing it a lot recently. Season 1
Not
did
that
indeed
we
get announced.
would partake in any sort of enjoyment of someone that might leak information about a game. I knew
Fuck that! I love leakers and data miners. They're the go.
I mean,
Give me that information.
We've been following a few things that have been like people have been finding out about season 1. It seems to all be true. It looks cool. They're bringing Rainbow Six Operator in.
Yeah.
The abilities look cool.
More importantly, a trophy system.
Yeah, trophy system's one of them. For the people that played Rainbow Six, they'll recognize straight away the abilities and stuff. Yeah, I mean, if it's 20 days or something till that comes out.
I was about to say, when does that? Do we have a date on ranked play yet?
I think
I believe ranked is coming with season 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
On July 2nd.
I mean, on the game, we've got like 20 days left, and my understanding is their plan is to finish season 0 and start season 1 on the same day at the same time, which means they're hoping for no downtime, but we all know that.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's bold, yeah.
Yeah.
They've
Bold for
been doing,
Ubisoft.
They've been doing like 1 hour downtimes anytime they've done downtime, so I assume their goal is still to just do a 1 hour
Probably.
downtime.
So we'll see. But well loving the game, so excited for season 1 of that to come around.
Yeah. We will be there.
And that was the games that I consider major from the weekend. There's a lot of other games that you should check out. If you haven't watched any of the showcases, feel free to go and check them out. Any games that you do like the look of, add them to your watch list. It helps the devs massively. Just a quick one. What do we give the Ubisoft showcase? I'm going 7. I feel like it was.
Yeah,
it was just.
I'd say
what it is, really.
It's 7-8, similar to how the main one was. Though the fact of Sands of Time remake.
Yeah, that was a big pop.
Obviously,
it had a big pop and good coverage and deep dives into, because especially with Outlaws, I know a lot of people wanted a bit more information on it.
That's the thing. They might not have had as many announcements because obviously it's just Ubisoft, but they did the deep dives, which was good. We got to see a lot more of the games they do have coming.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, love it.
Do we feel that the Summer Game Fest is now just the new E3?
Oh, yes,
100%.
we've lost E3 forever.
Well, we know E3's over.
Yeah, E3.
No, but I don't even think there's a spot for someone to like buy the branding and try and bring it back. I think it is conceptually. There's no room for it now, which sucks.
Which it sucks, but I'm also glad that we've got something that is stepped into that role.
Yeah, Jeff's sort of taken the reins and organizes a good weekend as opposed to a full week.
But before I was even in like the content space, even consuming content, back when I didn't even regularly watch YouTube or anything, I would still keep an eye on E3 because E3 was bigger than just content creators, which meant when before I was watching YouTube or knew what Twitch was or any of that, I was like, one day I'd love to fly out and be out there for an entire week of E3. And now that's just gone forever, which is like really fucking
but you can
sad.
go to Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, it's not the same, breath. Anyway,
it will be in a few years.
We got Gamescom in August?
Maybe.
Always go to Gamescom, mate, in Germany if you want. But yeah, next month's episode we'll be back to normal. We'll have an extra month of games and scores, Metacritic scores to catch up on. And
season 1 of XDefiant will be out, so we'll have played that.
Indeed, we can give a little bit of feedback on that as well.
We'll see how high we've carried Hurry Up.
Please do.
But anyway, thank you as always for hanging out with us, Josh. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next month.
See you
See
later.
you next month.
And from gaming news to nerdy news, we've got a smaller week, but I think the gaming news kind of makes up for that.
Such a stacked week for the gaming news.
Exactly. Deadpool Wolverine has officially been given its runtime.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours and 7 minutes.
The longest Deadpool film?
The longest Deadpool film. Also about 5 minutes shorter than this episode of the podcast. That's a prediction. Let me know if I was right.
I don't think you're going to be right.
Season 5 will be the end of The Boys, but not The Boys universe. So we said this last week, actually.
We did.
In the Boys preview. I said, I really hope they get out at the right time, because I think if they go past season 6, they're probably in a real bad spot.
Yeah, for dragging it out too much.
Yeah. And then on Wednesday, before the first 3 episodes of season 4 dropped, Eric Kripke went, I think now's a good time to announce and confirm season 5 will be the last season of The Boys. It will conclude Butcher and Homelander's story, but it will not be the end of The Boys universe. We've got some spin-offs we're working on top of stuff like Gen V, but The Boys story will be ending with season 5.
Yeah,
which I think is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think it is. There's still a lot of fun they can have with this universe, and a lot of people would probably just drag this story out for The Boys and keep doing season after season to do that, but they realize that's not a smart way to do it. They've seen the success from Gen V of being able to do a show in the same universe but different style. Why not start just branching out? They, like I said last week, they could very easily do something with like season 3 of Gen V where they introduce a new set of people at the school, and then maybe the main series suddenly starts following them after they've graduated as like a little team or something. Like, there's a lot of stuff they could do, and I'm glad they're not going to drag out The Boys story.
Exactly. Jan de Mange is no longer directing Blade, reports The Wrap. Eek. This takes the total number of writers and directors who've been involved with and then left the Blade project to 8. So that is Basim Tariq and Jan de Mange, who have both been the directors and then left. And then the 6 writers who've worked on it and left are Stacey Osakufa, Bo DeMaio, who was, of course, the writer on season 1 and 2 of X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Starbury, Nick Palazzo, Michael Green, and Eric Pearson.
It's not looking good for Blade. It's really not looking good for Blade.
Big man ting, yeah. It's not looking good, Brev.
Do we know why Jan left?
Nothing's been said.
Because one thing is, like, I guess the copium in me is that not the issue with the film, like maybe the script is in a good place and maybe not, but it's taken so long that this director has another upcoming project that they were originally should have been done with Blade by now, but now they've already agreed to do something else, and because this hasn't really got going properly or taken so long to get going, it's like they're gonna have to step away. Is my copium.
Sorry, quick correction on that writer's list. Sorry, Eric Pearson hasn't left. He's currently the writer.
Oh, okay.
Everyone else has left the project though. But yeah. So we now no longer have a director.
The copium in me.
All I'm saying is we want Blade to be a bit scary. We know that black characters come off better when directed by black directors who understand the culture.
True.
Maybe we go and get a black director who's particularly good at horror films.
Any in mind?
I know, Jordan Peele.
That's wild. Wasn't he meant to be doing an X-Men thing?
Yeah. So last week we mentioned that Jordan Peele had reportedly met with Marvel about a project. Apparently that project was X-Men, and it didn't work out according to One Take News. We don't know why. We don't know if what he wanted to do isn't what they wanted, or what they wanted he was just like, I have no interest in that, or if he was just like, I don't think I could do it justice. What I will say is, if it was anything other than they were desperate for him and he just went, I don't think I can do this, Marvel fucked up.
If joking aside, like if he was super like interested in doing a project with them and they were like, no, you're not the director for Marvel, they fucked up, like you say. Hopefully it is a case more so of mutually they didn't feel like it was the right fit, or Marvel like, we like your stuff, this is the X-Men, but this is the vibe we want to go for, and he was like, no. Hopefully there's still like that want to work together.
Yes, that my hope is they finish that meeting going, okay, X-Men's not the right one for you. We'll keep a name out. Now that we know what kind of film you want to do, if something comes across, you're our first name. And hopefully Blade is that film.
Yeah, it might have been like they had that meeting now this week, that this has all happened with Blade, and they've gone, Jordan, can you come back in for another meeting, please?
So I am, you know my feelings about when stuff struggles to get going. At this point, I don't think Blade can physically be a good film. So I also don't want Jordan Peele's name near it because it'll just hurt his reputation for no reason.
It's tough. Blade's been an absolute mess. And it's such a shame because some of the things, like, depending on why some of these have left, probably were unavoidable. It's that situation now where a thing's been passed between so many people. It's so like without stopping, restarting a full, like, it's in danger of just being a bit of a mess. Still hopeful. I still really wish for it to be actually good, and maybe Marvel somehow pulls off a miracle and it is good.
Do you know what my main concern is? Mahershala Ali is now 50 years old. They've not started filming yet. This film is still slated for 2025. Realistically, it's not coming out till 2026 at the very earliest, and that assumes everything goes perfectly from here on out. By which point, when this film comes out, he'll be what? We're saying another 2 years at best, realistically probably 3. He's 53 years of age, and Blade has just made his first appearance.
What if they end up having to change it now, and it's an older Blade who has been doing shit for years, and we're just not knowing? That's why there's been no vampires and shit about. And this is now going to be him teaching.
There's been no vampires because Blade's been doing a good job. Yeah. I like that idea. I don't dislike that idea.
And now he is teaching. He's going to have to teach Black Knight and stuff about how to keep shit in control.
My best guess is that I'm spot on with the soft reboot, and they wanted a big name to be Blade to give a bit more prestige to the Blade name. And then they can reboot and get a young Blade in, and then the list of Blades will be Wesley Snipes, Mahershala Ali, and then this new young up-and-comer.
Yeah, I don't know.
But one thing's for sure, you're not having like a 65-year-old Blade cutting about. So
no. You could have a 65-year-old Blade teaching
a
younger person, whether that's Black Knight or whatnot.
I know Hollywood money keeps people looking young, but that is pushing it, especially if someone who's supposed to be a half vampire, so looks pretty young all the time.
Yeah.
After laws, I'm not 100% sure how these laws used to work, so I might be a little bit wrong here. But after laws that prohibited film studios from owning cinema theatres was lifted, Sony Pictures have now acquired Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. They have become the first major studio to own a cinema in 75 years.
Okay, so we know Disney's about to buy one then.
I actually view this as good news.
So do I.
Because Sony don't have a streaming service.
No.
And now they own a cinema. That means they have a vested interest in cinemas being successful.
Yes. But it also could mean, unfortunately for us, they keep trying to pump out Spider-Verse shit films because they need to have a film to put in their own cinema.
I get that. I do. But it could mean that if they do it properly, it's successful and it forces other companies to start respecting cinema again. Like, I don't mean like the art of cinema. I mean cinemas, theatres.
Do you know what I'd love? Now, if this is like obviously this law's gone, and if Sony have done it, and they're the first two, you can kind of presume Disney's going to try and do something because they always want to compete with Sony. I'd love to see A24 have one.
It'd be very cool.
I think
Although it's very expensive for a company like A24 to buy
obviously,
a cinema chain.
yeah, obviously. But like, imagine they and people that actually respect cinema and create great films for cinema. I think it'd be cool to see that. But
For sure. For
we'll see.
sure. Creature Commandos is the first DCU project under James Gunn, and it's been now confirmed that it will release in December on Max.
Can't wait to get my subscription to Max.
Max is yet to comment how he feels about having to show everyone the project, but I'm sure he can handle it.
We're all going around to Max's house in December.
Yeah. There is, I believe, unless we've missed it, I don't believe there is any way to get Max in the EU yet.
I mean, if they still do HBO stuff, it's through Sky. So if they go the same route, we might be able to watch it through Sky. Which you can get through
Now TV.
Now TV.
But it shouldn't be that difficult if you want stuff to watch.
If you
want people to watch stuff. The Penguin series from Matt Reeves' Batman universe is also coming to Max in September.
So
busy winter for Max.
Yeah, his house is going to be packed in September and December.
It's going to be bouncing. Okay, that's enough of them boring jokes. Very much sad news today.
Yes.
Comic Storian was a YouTuber who made very insightful and historical videos about comic books and the media and everything surrounding it, and I believe was uploading to YouTube for like 10 plus years. I might need a fact check on that though. Has sadly and suddenly passed away at just the age of 40, which is just heartbreaking. By the sounds of it, it was a one-car traffic accident. No sign of any drink or drug or anything like that. It seems like a freak accident. It's of course heartbreaking, and we're thinking about his family at this time because it's really, really sad. I personally haven't watched too much of his stuff. I've definitely watched some of his videos over the years when I've been curious about a particular topic, but he wasn't someone I watched religiously. But I know for a lot of people in the comic book and comic book media, wider media, fandom, he was a cornerstone for a lot of people. So lots of very sad people today. And it is always sad when we lose a YouTuber.
Yeah.
It's
especially
although
just 40 odd. Like...
Yeah, it's literally no age at all.
No.
He has a youngish family, as far as I'm aware. It's really, really sad. It's a complete shock. Yeah. It's just, it's really, really sad. There's no other way to put it.
No.
So it felt weird with us covering what we do to not at least kind of pay our respects and go, this has happened.
Yeah.
I hate saying stuff like thoughts and prayers, but that kind of idea of keeping him in one's prayers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're at. That will be the end of this episode of Cutscene Convos.
She's still here, that is.
Yeah. We'll be back next week with more of the boys, more of the Acolyte, and probably something else. We'll see.
Slightly
Tune in next time to find out. It will be a lot shorter next week. We won't have Josh waffling on about video games for an hour. Christ. Don't you just hate when people can waffle at a camera for hours?
Yeah, imagine doing that for 117 episodes.
18
now, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll catch you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment what thumbnail you got down below.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see you next time.